All right, and welcome back to our Let's Play stream, really, as Japan's Tokugawa Shogunate, where I kind of went over it for a bit and found a couple of things that need to be dealt with because they did not quite get planned out well. And so, one of those things is some of the motor industries we're building. We are building them in an unincorporated state with moderate turmoil. Basically, these things are not going to be built for another 2 years. We're just going to delete them because I am not sitting around waiting for those to be built over a period of two years when it could just be built somewhere else at a fraction of the cost. We're also going to go ahead and drop the Japanese East Indies to colony to get more money out of it. We are reducing their payments and giving them knowledge so as to maintain their loyalty since we have really high infamy. But I think our tech spread's pretty good despite that, right? It's minus 20%, so we could be getting text faster if we stopped sharing it. Not that we need to stop sharing it. But our objectives are still the same as before. We need to try to get our GDP all the way up to, well, our collective GDP needs to be 2 billion across the block since everyone's a subject in the block. Johor is carrying very well. They have apparently 0 GDP. I don't know what happened. Where are you? Oh, they have like a very tiny colony over here somewhere, and that's how they've survived. We're not going to count them as an actual subject for the missions though, because, you know, technically they have nothing. So I don't even think do they even have pops? They have pops, but they're starving to death, so have fun, I guess. Also, I wanted to note, because I noticed it, Korea's economy basically exploded upwards after it became our subject and got lots of investments from Japan. They have almost no, well, they still have a good chunk of peasants still. They have more than I thought, but that's because it is chunks of territory we can't mess with until they are no longer on serfdom. Oh, they aren't on serfdom, they're on peasant proprietorship, which causes 35%. Okay, I was going to say, because it's way too high to be tenant farmers. Also, I couldn't help but notice we are incredibly reliant on grain imports, which is funny. And grain is expensive. We're importing 6,000 from Russia, who is currently being invaded by the United States, if you were curious at all. How much of Russia's grain is just exported? Almost half of it. Well, over half if you're counting it by sell order, so that is incredibly amusing. We're going to have to get more of those. Also, for the mandate, we are going to go ahead and move on police coordination to get the political movement activism because the radical movement is really agitated, even though we're pretend passing anti-strike laws to keep them suppressed. That kind of pretend passing will work for now, but it can only work for so long. You know, eventually they're going to catch on to what we're doing. Or, you know, it'll just straight up fail. We're also still continuing our conquest of India now that the British Empire has lost total control of it, thanks to the previous war we fought, which was extremely long and bloody, but you know what? It worked out in our favor in the end. Oh, actually, can we do opium now? Do we have... How much opium do we have? That is something to ask. We have a lot of domestic opium because the recovery rate with field hospitals is 20% more, so we can prevent any kill rate from really being used against us. That's going to kind of hurt our armies temporarily. A lot of them are going to lose organization from that, but it's fine. In the end, they're going to have more offense, defense, less morale loss, die less often if there's any kill rate to counteract. And I'm going to kind of let the private investment pool take over for a bit, partially because we need to kind of pay this back down. The Antillean Confederation. Ah. Apparently Cuba has managed to do a formable. Oh, good for them. Good for them. I find it strange, but... How often do you get to see Cuba do anything that isn't be someone's subject for life? Right? Eventually the lie becomes the truth, or they will realize that it's just been a lie this whole time. Look, as long as we can hold it for another, like, 2 years, just keep up the lie for 2 more years or whatever, we'll be fine. We're also spending a lot on construction for supply ships. We are spending 165,000 a week on ship construction. That is only for supply ships and maintaining our navies. which has created a very interesting situation in which the shipyards in places like Kanto, the only reason they are profitable, if you look at this, ship construction and ship maintenance costs, or profit here for it, is actually allowing it to have a positive weekly balance where everything is at the moment. And most of our hardwood usage is from shipyards. In fact, we got access to electricity a while ago, but didn't really use it. We're going to go ahead and start using it now, even though we're kind of running out of pops to employ. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because it means wages will grow. And our workforce is growing since we gave women the right to work. And that shift on the workforce ratio is going to take decades. It will go a bit faster if there isn't any migration into Japan, since it won't be getting pulled back down. But it will have some problems for a while. Well, I can't do anything about this. Vietnam's gonna have to do it themselves. Since it's the subject of a subject, I can't intervene. As no one joins, they'll have it on their own. Oh, you know what? Now that we're not at war, I need to give the Dutch East Indies, the Japanese East Indies, these territories, because they are basically threatening to revolt, and I don't want to control it. I would rather hand it off to a subject state. Or, what, they're Sumatrans? We could give it to these guys. Or at least... Well, no, you're the subject of a subject. I can't do that. Okay. Grant state. You're in a diplomatic play? Oh, that's why we couldn't do it, because they're stuck in a diplomatic play. Right, yeah. Might have forgotten that one detail. Oh, if they revolt, we'll just put them down. You know how it is. I mean, it's okay, don't worry. The directly controlled population is still 98% Japanese, and then the tiny portion of the island that we took over. But you know what? They count. They're honorary Japanese. They have the heritage, so it's close enough. Taming the north. What do these two do? That's what, migration wave. That gives it a bonus for 5 years. We could give it a migration wave. How many pops get moved here? About almost 200,000. That's not too bad. It has some unemployed. Do we... We probably do need sulfur. I probably don't even need to ask if we need it. And if we don't need it, we can export it. So, either way. But improved fertilizer is very helpful, because now I can upgrade our fertilizers. And what few rice farms we have can actually use those. We haven't really been using them as much as we could. We have that one big rice farm we built, and we kind of just left it alone since. In fact, we might as well just build it up. We need to have at least one area making some grain so we don't just run out of food. It's effectively an industrialist shogunate, yeah. There's been a coup in Manchuria, apparently. And speaking of coups, there's now a radical revolt in the East Indies. How fun. The Edo Guard army will enjoy putting it down, I'm sure. Just move one of the navies over. It doesn't really matter which navy. Pick a navy. Any navy. Any navy at all. Who is this? A market liberal. You know what? That's fine. You can come right in. Wow, this actually almost passed. If it actually passes, that's fine. I don't expect it to. Who lost? Okay, Austria's the one who lost great power status. And America has also taken Alaska, so America just controls all of that now. That's just... It's all American. They're gonna slap Made in America on everything over there now. So, abroad is what we want to be looking for. Because the newly controlled areas we just got actually do have coal mines. And I don't think... Yeah, they don't have any major construction issues. So that's good. What about Malaysia? No, they don't have any workers. It's a matter of, like, finding areas that have workers. We still need more coal. There's just not enough coal. Oh, yes, we got all the electricity going, didn't we? So now we can actually get more wood. So what we can do is now switch them all to electric sawmills, which will give us more wood. It's 40 more per level. But then we can also make 15 of that wood into hardwood. So we're going to have more hardwood and regular wood, and we're using more of both, so... Just works. Might even import less. the productivity just shooting up. Given enough time, the workers will actually get more payment. Right? We've given them so much trouble. The westernization of names. More westernization, huh? Japanese. Oh, yeah, that's right. It'll actually change the name format because it goes from last name to first name right now. But if you do it that way, it would probably fully change it if I had to guess. So what, you could just do it for foreign correspondence only. What happens if you... There's not really much of a choice here. It's just kind of what do you want to deal with for 5 years. I mean, the legitimacy is nice. I don't really need it, though. I guess we could utilize the authority. I want to see how it is if we change the names. Oh my god, that title. Yeah, so right now, Tokugawa is the last name, and that's in front. But if you do the... Yep, you see all the names just changed immediately. Now the first name's in front, followed by the last name. Historically, Japan did not do that. They still use... Oh, the Heavenly Kingdom. Hello. Hi. I didn't notice. China finally collapsed. It actually took way longer than the last time we played. Think major power. Is there anything we can squeeze out of this? I'm gonna say no. It's probably better to just strike on our own. Separate from this conflict. Because, like, the Yunnan clique exists, so we could just invade them. Or the Shandong clique, which actually meets our requirements. The issue is our infamy is really high. I need to let it drop down a little more before we do anything. Oh, just think of all the coal we could get. We do need to grab Manchuria still, actually, so maybe we'll just grab Manchuria. Russia would probably join, it says. Russia does not have an army. I'm not really that scared of Russia. He might become an industrialist character. To be honest, I have no idea until he becomes of age. Right now, we have a regency, which will last until he is of age, which will still be a little while longer. I think we'll go for these guys, just because it'll be easier. Yeah, it'll be a lot easier. I just need to make sure we don't have pariah status. So what is our construction doing? Is it mostly abroad? It is mostly domestic, but it's all the railways, because we have a lot of expensive transportation now with groceries as well. It's kind of surprising how expensive it is. But that just shows how enriched the land is becoming. We're definitely not biased in any way. Oh, that just barely made us a pariah. It said we were 85, but I must have been rounding up when I wasn't paying attention. We should drop below pariah quickly enough. But, yeah, they're going to kind of withdraw a bit. Johor, it says Johore left, but they had, like, nothing, so. Eh. Oh, the daimyos are gone. Cool. Well, they're kind of gone and not gone. It's going to keep fluctuating, I think. I think that still hits 100, right? No, it actually drops to 99. Eh. Yeah, they will probably revolt again. So we hit pariah for, 2 weeks, but it didn't really do much. They just broke treaties with us, which doesn't really hurt. It kind of hurts in the sense of whatever we had going with them, but I know one of those two were just a trade agreement, so, eh. It doesn't matter to me. Oh, what's happening over here? Is Yorkshire... Are they actually... It's called the Midlands now, so are the Midlands losing to this revolt? The answer is yes, they are. At the current rate it's going, they are losing. Oh, let's do it this way. It's much, much easier if we do it like this. Instead of trying to sift through 8 different armies, trying to find the right one to send. Revolutionary... Why are there communist revolts happening in Europe now? I mean, the one in Spain is just going to die out. It won't go anywhere. But the others are a little more alarming. It's like, what's going on over there? What's happening? Ooh, do you have... I guess, yeah, you could build 10 here. We may as well try to get them some employment over here. Otherwise, they're not going to have a good time. They'll stay unemployed and cause revolts, which is very unacceptable. It is terrible behavior to have in the Shogunate. Even if you're just an indirect subject state. So we're waiting on that to surrender. That civil war is finally over, but I have to finish our war in Shandong. So the Beiyang government is going to very easily lose that war. They are just going to get kicked to the curb. And that's quite alright with me. There's the next revolt. So we'll actually have... What are you made up of? Early ironclads? Oh, yeah, so you're an old fleet. We never did design our new modern ironclads. Which really, I'm just gonna do this. The modern ironclad. At a time when you'd be expecting battleships. Portugal. I forgot Portugal. Wait, what happened over here? Okay, Portugal. You have fun with whatever mess that is. I'm not dealing with it. Oh, did they actually... No, the revolt won. The communists are now in charge of one of the great powers of the world. Which is to say a chunk of Britain. Wales is on its own. Italy is just a mess. Which is normal. For Italy. And in a short while, our GDP's already grown by about 30 million. We could actually, something we could do is let the private pool do more of the construction and start spending more of our own wealth on trade. Like literally just paying them to export. We already do that for a number of premium, like luxury consumer goods. Why is fine art such a high expense for the lower strata? Why is that in the top 3? Fine art is in the top 3 for the lower strata? You're not that high, though. Okay, I'll take it. It doesn't make sense to me, though. We are... Oh, we did. I was going to say we're researching malaria prevention for the healthcare system. We already finished it. And how much coal do you have? I don't think you guys have any of the coal deposits. You don't. But you have sulfur. And tea. They have a lot of tea. I really do love tea. Actually, just involving them single-handedly crashed some of the tea prices. How much tea do you have? It's just a lot. It's just tea everywhere. And it was almost immediately bought out. We might snatch the Forbidden City. Actually, I would kind of want to use that as for a subject to keep the subject more stable. Mostly because we don't really... Well, we kind of do need it, actually. They just became an authoritarian, so the government shifted again. Who is this, a modernizer? Can I get you in charge instead? I can. Which I don't think changes anything that helps us. But it does help. Can we drop this now? What is the radical movement at? 31? Yeah, we can drop this now. We can stop pretending. We can stop making the industrialists angry at us and worsening their investments. Because that's what they've been doing. They've been upset with us and not investing as a result. They were still investing, just not as much. So let's do... I don't think... Are you still the subject state? You're still an indirect subject of our colony. Okay. I was wondering how that would work. So there we go. We don't directly control those anymore. What are all of our domestic states? Just here? Fantastic. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. All those unemployed are... We have, like, no unemployed at this point. I really need to... I know we're doing corporate governance, but I really need to just throw our investment into more, automation. Automatic power looms would actually be a good one. That's spreading to us technologically right now. And automobiles, too, would help the urban centers. Speaking of the urban centers, I can at least make them have more engineering jobs. It's going to actually create quite the demand for electricity in some states. Okay, in basically every state, apparently. Yeah, what are we looking at here? Because you have to kind of micromanage the electricity a little. It's not not the best in the world, I would say. The turn of the century. Oh, right, Belle Epoque will be active now. So, we could actually get them obsessed with fine art if we really wanted to. The head of state really is just going to depend on what the heir ends up becoming. We really don't know until it happens. We got to choose the regent, though. Oh! That came up way faster than I was expecting. I kind of want to do this just to be funny. Because the Japanese already have 2 obsessions that we basically put on them. Well, they started with tea and we gave them paper. We could then just give them fine art to be really silly. And we're going to do that because I just want to. It's not... the best obsession in the world to have. Fine art academies generally don't do too well in most circumstances. However, the game gave me an opportunity to be funny, and by God, am I going to do it. We're already importing hundreds of art pieces from the world. Apparently some of that is Chinese. They pay 11 in annual wages here? I'm shocked. How much money do you make, GDP-wise? Probably really low. Yeah, it's pretty low. I'm not surprised. You can't really make the fine art academies owned by the aristocrats. It's more so of how many clerks do you want in it compared to academics. That's kind of all this really decides here. As you can see, that's all it really decides. And we're kind of doing more academics because academics have a higher wage. So that's kind of just the reason why. Oh, look, communists. Anyway, just quietly hit the suppress button and, you know, go about our day. Why do we have more construction? Oh, right, I'm building military ships. I forgot. Jesus. I'm building all these military ships and I don't know why I'm spending money. You want peace? Prepare for war against... Of course, Great Britain. How could I forget? They are the true enemies. So I wanted macroeconomics next for the economy, but I kind of want to grab the combustion engine for the automotive industry first. So we're going to do that since, one, cars will make a lot of money. They just will. Second, some areas have really high transportation prices, and I'd like to get that down. And the best way to do that would be to get the cars. We could also drop taxes a little, probably. They are building so many steel mills, it's unreal. I mean, steel prices are up, so of course they are, but it's a lot of money to be spending on steel, don't you think so? See, that kind of puts us in the red. Is that just about with us doing construction goods? Yeah. I might go back to normal taxes then, because I don't think we make enough with the tolls and everything just yet to run that. Then again, having it on low taxes could push everyone up in standard of living, or at least a lot of hops in standard of living, which might help. I don't think it will. It's going to help this group at least. No. With what we've done, there's really no way for the aristocrats to get re-empowered. A lot of the agrarian areas are kind of owned by some of the Zabatsu companies. And the number, even with hereditary bureaucrats active, the number of aristocrats pales compared to the number of capitalists. I almost said bureaucrats, although that's not wrong either. Honestly, we could think about switching away from hereditary bureaucrats at this point, but aristocrats get paid more, so I kind of don't want to. Since that just helps us raise a higher average standard of living. And plus, these aristocrats tend to be a little more pro-intelligentsia because they're urban administrators. It just gives them a flat 100 attraction. Which is pretty cool. Okay, we'll add Hokkaido to this list now. This should last, what, 10 years? Unless Kyoto gets invaded, so... Unless we get naval invaded and I'm not paying attention, it'll last 10 years. Granted, we could get naval invaded and I could not pay attention, but, we'll see. You know what? I am going to restore some subject payments. Because now that they're in the top 10 for economy there, and the Philippines is actually at a GDPC of 4, they should be able to pay us just fine. Siam, I think, is still a bit too unstable. Its GDPC has gotten better, but it's still pretty unstable. So what do, Oh, we could do free trade. We could do free trade. But we're making a lot on tariffs, mainly on sugar marines. Are you exporting our merchant marines again? Or are we importing these? Exporting these. Well, I don't mind making a small amount of money off of it. Right, companies. I know, I might have forgotten. Tokyo Electric Light Company LT. Oh, that's actually a special company. Let's actually restrict it to available companies. That makes this a little easier. What do we have again? Because I have lost track of all the buildings that are already claimed by companies. Okay. So military good cost is something we could do. Technically, we have an obsession with paper, so craft paper would not be a bad idea since that would be a good that they would consume. Also, as you can see, it already makes a lot of money. How does it make a lot of money, actually? That's a good question. Because paper prices aren't too high. Well, they're kind of there. I think it's due to... It's actually really due to government administration. I honestly was going to accuse the population of just eating them all. Do we have any logging camps bought already? I think I'll do that then. I like it personally. We can always get the automotive one next if we want to. And we're just going to give it monopolies. In fact, who does not have a monopoly on stuff? Coal and sulfur. Could do sulfur. We have a lot of sulfur. We accidentally gave these guys investment rights. I might take that back later. You can have glassworks. Just to give us more authority on other stuff. Steel. Because I don't know how much money you're making compared to direct control, which is probably better. So let's revoke that. Let's give you... Not give you, but give you more control. That is going to drive these prices up, but that's kind of the point. Because as you can see, that already jumps up the GDP by 10 to 20 million just on its own. It's already at 400 million now. Hopefully that continues to rise. We're at 773 million across the whole block. We'll see how long that lasts. They'll coup in Russia. Oh, the armed forces have actually couped the Russian government in the game. Universal suffrage. It's still the same czar. And for whatever reason, it's the Orthodox Church that's in charge. If I can talk, we'll be fine. Still have an electricity shortage in these states. How bad is it there? Is it just not hired yet? Right, it's just because we don't have the much more effective steam turbine. Which is something we really need. Oh, the combustion engine is now spreading to us. Excellent. That'll finish in just a few months then. This company just started existing and is already making almost $500,000 in profit. I know it's going to raise the price of paper, but it could also just make more paper, so... It'll be fine. Student rally, the radical movement. Please don't do that. Oh, the communist movement has reappeared because it was suppressed so much. Welcome back, I guess. I don't know if they should be reappearing right away, but I guess they like to do that. So Shandong we could use to invade the rest of the Heavenly Kingdom. Are they... Corn law leverage, Taipei conscription... They're not ticking towards any instability, but they are trying to move back to the guild system, so that's funny. What about Manchuria here? I know Russia would join before. We might invade them later, though. At any rate. There are a few Indian countries I'd rather conquer and just incorporate into our larger subjects. Oh, if we wait, Bengal's gone bankrupt. So let's wait until Bengal's bankruptcy has kind of filed through here. Because then we can just make Bengal a subject. That's another chunk of India. I'm pretty sure that's a decently invested chunk, too. Yeah, it's got all that opium. No, you may not have too much opium, chat. Please be mindful of the amount you consume. There's an allotment. Everyone gets a certain amount in the Empire based on their wage. Okay, that should knock the radical movement down. Yep, they're not protesting. They won't be protesting anymore. They'll be agitating, which is good. That'll stop them from radicalizing the population. And more importantly, it means they and the other movements can't really do anything against the Tokugawa Shogunate now. Hey, Admiral Impact. Speaking of Admiral Impact, one of our admirals is dead, so we might want to replace him a little. I guess we can give it to you since you're a liberal. Oh, we actually doesn't need that many promotions. They can have way more ships now. Iron Frigate, early Ironclad, modern Ironclad. You're probably, yeah, you're on early Ironclads too, so let's build you up. These got the modern, yes, the 1903 version good. I was going to say, I hope I didn't build it wrong again like last time. Okay, there we go. They're a minor power now. How much does it cost? 43 infamy. Okay, so we have to just play it safe and wait if we want to grab them later. Without going to a pariah status. Or maybe they'll have a civil war. Who knows? What is Jaipur doing? Why are they being invaded? Oh, they joined on someone else's side. Indore is like getting whacked, or did they start this war? They started this war. Okay, well, in that case, they only have themselves to blame. Radical nihilist sounds bad. Yeah, probably not the greatest thing in the world, but I think it'll be fine. He won't do anything. Probably. I had to remind myself that we are staying on autocracy, because for a second I thought about doing a rivalry with Russia. No. Look, I don't like Russia. Russia doesn't like me, but they're a good trade partner. We can't destroy that. Now, our actual GDP probably won't get too high since we're diversifying our investments and kind of spreading it out throughout the empire to places like Satara. But we can at least expect it to get decently high. Also, if I don't invest in places like Satara, the people there are just going to keep starving to death. And I don't know about you, but starving pops tend to not be very good at contributing to your economy in the long run. Just a thought. In fact, we have so many potential investments from our private pool that we're just going to kind of build all these up. I don't know what's happening over here. Why are you saying we can build 6? We can only build 5. It will increase our expenses too, but that's why later on we'll just stop. I might have to go back to normal taxes to sustain it. But it will increase demand for steel and glass too. Both are good. Is lead expensive? No, it's not expensive. It's just because of all the porcelain, maybe? No, because glass is cheap. It's below base price, that's why. They're building a lot of textile mills in Hokkaido. I don't blame them, but I just couldn't help but notice. So we'll grab the steam turbine, upgrade that, and then we'll start using electricity for various methods to try to get some more workers elsewhere. If I can think of the words. What else do we get next? Pneumatic tools would be good for construction sectors. Plastics, if we had enough oil. How much oil do we have? I know we have a little oil in the market. I don't know how much we do have, though. Not a lot. We really don't have a lot. It's mainly for the automotive industries at this point. So, yeah, up there goes the... Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out knocking my bottle down and having to hope I haven't spilt something all over the place. I haven't, so we're fine. Ooh, Outlaw Descent would be nice. So would Film, for different reasons. Multilateral alliances, antibiotics. We might... Let's grab this real quick, because that'll speed up the tech research. It'll make it a little less expensive here. Oh, there's the Manchuria Radical Revolt, so maybe we can do something. The Steam Omnibus. So, who is willing to become our subject? The answer is probably neither of them. Because of how high our infamy is. Neither of them are probably willing. Although you might have debt. You do have debt. Let's try a small bribe here. I know that's way higher than it needs to be, but we're just trying something here. Oh, that just makes you neutral, right? I forgot. I needed them to already be neutral. And they're at, what, 99 in opinion? That's fine. Let that happen. Oh, the Heavenly Kingdom started the war against us. Fantastic. Oh, that makes this decision is so much easier now. I know what we're going to do. So can you carry 80? You can carry exactly 88 troops. Awesome. So we let the Humiliate apply because we're at 73 infamy. And I'm thinking we're going to target a state or two and give it to the Shandong clique. Ideally, the states that have coal, if we can do more than one. I don't know if we can do more than one. We really should try to get higher involvement here so they get cheaper. 13.5, that's not too expensive. Oh, our current leader is cautious. Okay. See, that's pretty nice. Let's at least take this. And then I think I can grab one more state, but it has to be a cheap state. Which is not really going to happen unless I take direct control of it. Beijing? Yeah. We could take that. Hi, Annie. Generals, I know what we're going to do today. Well, it says general. Oh, he's... Really? He's another daimyo. Or another, Jeez, it's... Well, actually, I just realized that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because it's the Tokugawas. It's always going to be the Tokugawas, thanks to what we've done. In fact, you could say it might only be the Tokugawas, because of what we've done. We only have ourselves to blame for that, of course. You're not, I need to check real quick. You're not... Okay, good. Only Japanese formations. I was going to say, I better not come over here and see our armies being thrown against the window. Long live the Shogun. He is now, ruler, for better or worse. For better and for worse, really. Where's your leader? Did he die fighting the rebels or something? I guess he did. Liberal. There we go. Lighthouse of Progress. Sure, why not? Now, I'd like to take more from them, and I think the only other thing I could really realistically do here is a liberation war goal in UA. Now, this may just cause them to back down, and I can't really claim those without that getting worse. But the idea there is that we make a very weak China. Well, weaker than it already is. Although I want to play defensive initially. Yep, nope, they backed down. Which means they got humiliated because that was the first thing that got assigned. Not the best. I should have made sure Northern Anhui was a guaranteed claim instead, but I was too late on the draw. It also means, though, they can't really intervene against us for the next couple of years. But it also tells me they don't believe they can win. So I think we're going to leave most of the army there and just start building up our involvement for the actual invasion in a couple of years. Hey, we're basically playing real-life Japan at that point. Specifically setting up the army to invade China. Only we invaded the neighbors first and then China. So we kind of did that part backwards. What are we doing on subject payments now? 153k. Mainly the Philippines are actually doing pretty well for a colony. 187k in tolls now. Ugh. The trade just keeps on giving. Trade's almost maxed out, too. 22,000 fabric, 20,000 food. Most of that is coming from China, actually. That's so funny. So what, they're just mass exporting their own grain? What are their grain prices like? They can't be that bad. Oh, yeah, no, it's just plus 22. It's actually really bad. That might explain their well, partially explains their standard of living. They have a lot of just unemployed people. They're always going to do poorly. It's going pretty decent so far. I'd say this has been a decently successful Japan. The economy is growing slower because more of our investments are overseas now in our empire. And it's also because, again, we have no one to employ because everyone is kind of already employed, which is why we're about to use the power plants to use automatic power looms. And then I need to see, what does the power look like? Yep. Immediate electricity shortage is exactly what I expected to start reading. I think it's what we have to basically double production everywhere now. Yeah. Not everywhere exactly, but in enough spots that I really should make some direct assignments to it. It did also free up a couple 100,000 pops. And it does make clothes cheaper, which I don't mind us exporting, actually, if we aren't already. We're already exporting 13,000 clothes. Okay. Nice. Let's see, police coordination 3. Another good thing about getting police coordination is that any of our subjects that also have law enforcement, such as the Japanese East Indies, that will also reduce their radical movement's activism. It doesn't guarantee they won't become unstable, but it gives kind of more room, such as Satara here. Literally, it's actually probably preventing a revolt right now. I am streaming from the United States of America, who currently in this game has apparently made Quebec a subject state. It's very weird. We don't know what's going on up there. In this game. The Yunnan clique. Oh, this is an opportunity. I have to wait for this to tick, though, before we can actually act. Now, you don't want to become my subject because you hate me. That is fine. I don't mind. We could... Where is Northern Anhui? Oh, we talked about taking Beijing, but I just wanted to then give that to the Shandong clique, which will at least give them more legitimacy so they wouldn't collapse. They're also a decent Chinese subject because they have interventionism, so... And public schools. Plus, yeah, we'll take it because it will also weaken their legitimacy. Where are we at on this? I really don't want to throw myself up in the air again on infamy. 99, there we go. Just enough. Just enough. Where is this army? We have to have at least one or two of our armies over here to actually defend the front so they don't get overwhelmed. I also need to delete all of these armies. They're not actual armies, they're just kind of standing around. So I really need to just delete them real quick, so we actually know what armies we have. Which is to say 5 of them, so I'm missing one. It's all the way over here in India. Actually, I want to keep that army in India. We might just form a 6th army, or grow the current armies a little more. Yeah, let's grow the current armies a little more, since we know we can carry at least 88 divisions. We'll kind of just really quickly give them some more troops to work with. Besides, who doesn't want to work for the army? Also, you don't have a leader again. Oh, humanitarian, that's fine. Oh, console, I'm sorry. This is on PC. Specifically Steam. On the PC. And then, or of course, if you mean, which stream software, usually OBS. That usually works out fine enough. Do you not have sailors? You do not have sailors. That's why those ships are sitting there. Also, yeah, that's minus 49. I probably should mobilize after all, so we don't have them get instantly eaten alive by the Heavenly Kingdom horde. Because they do actually have a fairly sized military. I'm pretty sure they have... Yeah, they do have skirmish infantry like us. By the way, we're still on skirmish infantry. We really need to get trench works. You know what? This is going to delay macroeconomics longer, but I'm going to go for trench works now because I do have a feeling if we don't grab it, someone is going to come knocking who has trench works, and they're going to kill us. But yes, Annie, it's good to have you around. I do hope that we'll see more performance improving updates as time goes on. The latest updates they did for Victoria 3, it did feel like it improved stability a bit. But I'm hoping to just see it get bigger and bigger as time goes on. Oh no, I need all 3 of you to deploy, not just the one. And march straight on the capital. They can't win a 2-front war, and we just added more troops as well, so... This is kind of already over. Ooh, experienced artillery commander. It's not bad. I have not played Resident Evil, but I have watched a lot of playthroughs of it, so I am somewhat aware of it. Some games, they are more fun to watch someone play than to play. Also, I'm probably not great with horror. So I probably have an easier time watching someone play it rather than playing it myself. Oh, we're running a 1 million ducat deficit a week. That's not too bad. It's mostly because of the war. It'll pass. How much more exports could we do? Because it's claiming thousands, but that seems to mainly be for paper exports. Paper is below base price now. That would make sense. And there are some markets for it that we can kind of tap out if we really wanted to. While it would be kind of funny, it will greatly mess with our standard of living math, and also the probability of the Han revolting against us is substantial, just from well, actually maybe not. What is the status of the Han in our country? Well, yeah. I mean, in their homeland, probably not that bad. But remember, we're focusing on the Japanese people here for this one. That's what at least that's what the goal is with the Japanese standard of living specifically, and no one else's. There was a reason why there was a bit of a loophole there. What happened here? Oh, I see. Because you've taken command now. It's... Oh, wow. They can just rule on their own. They don't need anyone with them. They have way too much clout now from all their investments. What are we on? Capital Fleet? I'd prefer to keep Capital Fleet, personally. No workers' rights. I said no workers' rights. We could switch from protectionism, but I think the money we're getting from the tariffs is just too good to pass up. 83k in tariffs now. Those tariffs are basically covering almost half the subventions. So we're just giving it back to ourselves. Yes, I have seen the Village one of Resident Evil. I don't know if I've seen the Biohazard one. Requiem, yes. I know that Requiem is a powerful revolver that Leon Kennedy uses. I do know that. I'm not going to sit here and claim to know a lot about Resident Evil because, like I said, I've only watched gameplay of it. I have not played it myself. And it would be very touristy of me to claim to know a bunch of stuff about a game I've never played. You know, it wouldn't be very respectful. Burma. I mean, they'd make a great subject state. What happened? No, wait, no, seriously, what happened? Why did the East Indies revolt? Leave us. Hang on, did we see that? Let me reload this really quick. Did we even see that that was happening? I need to check this real quick. Did we have an opportunity to join this, or was this just in the corner and I didn't see it? Okay, this was in the corner and I didn't see it. That is the one, I think, nagging point I have for the game. If your subject gets attacked by someone and you don't notice the diplomatic play is up there, it just gets ripped straight out from underneath you. Like, it is just immediately ripped out, and you don't really have a response at that point. Ballyvac's down this time. I used to stream on Twitch first. I actually got all the way to affiliate on Twitch. And then I started doing YouTube instead because YouTube lets you not have any mid-roll ads playing, whereas Twitch plays mid-roll ad every hour. Or at least, what is it, like 3 minutes of an hour is ads. And I figured if YouTube lets me just play an ad at the start and then that's it, that's more viewer-friendly than making people have to watch ad after ad after ad while trying to watch the stream. Yeah, that looks good. They should incorporate this later, too, because they are Han. They just don't have what they need to do it yet. But the pops here should be a lot happier, question mark, quote unquote. Also, what is the most profitable thing here we could build? We have a lot of silk already. We could actually build fabric. Because remember, we're importing a lot of fabric. So we could actually start building it up and just we could destroy the American market. How much of their fabric is export? Most of it. So if they lost it, they would suffer tremendously. But yeah, I haven't played it. Oh, Requiem is probably one of the newest games as well, I believe, for Resident Evil. Which I did watch. I enjoyed it. Watching it, that is. So what if... How many more construction sectors can we build here? Hokkaido. Sorry, where is this? Oh, that's the island there. Okay. Western New Guinea. Oh, I totally forgot that we even had colonies down here. I think we started to colonize it a bit and Britain just ate the whole thing. I actually don't know what that happened. Shadowrain RPG playthrough. Shadowrain. I have vaguely thought about it. I actually really love RPG games. There are a number of RPG games I would like to play. I know Owlcat's making one for The Expanse, which sounds like a load of fun. I really do love RPG games. I could go on. I was a very huge fan of Mass Effect. Still am. Yeah, streaming can be fun. It can also... I would say if you're going to stream, you should just go into it having fun. If you go into it expecting to make money, like a lot of money out of it, you're just not going to have a fun time. You're going to stress yourself out. But it's also probably good... Oh, right. Efficient canning practices. We never did switch to this. Do we have the oil for this? I think we do it. Yeah, do it. It's going to crash the price. But yeah, if you go into streaming and YouTubing expecting to make a bunch of money, you you're just not gonna have fun with it. I wouldn't do it solely to make money. Making money is nice, but you should do it for fun. There's a bit of hope. I would need to look at Shadowrain itself and kind of think, is this a game I would have fun playing? Because if I'm not going to have fun playing a game, I don't want to do a recording or streaming of it. Because, well, if I'm not having fun and you're just watching someone who's bored out of their mind, you're probably not going to have fun either. Now, if it's a rage game, that's an exception because you know you're going into it expecting rage. But that's kind of in the name. Also, Austria is currently ruled by a council republic, but it's also a minor power because it's bankrupt. Prussia is still struggling to do anything in regards to... For they're an ethno-state. Okay, well, they have fun. How is Russia doing? Because they do actually have a growing economy. Could we maybe get investments into Russia? That wouldn't be the safest thing to do, but, you know, something we could do. Okay, we have trench infantry now, which makes us stronger. The Korean economy is almost at 100 million. And the American economy is growing. I'm pretty sure that is in part... Oh, it just jumped up quite a bit, actually. I don't think they conquered anything, did they? They probably just unlocked a new production method. That's usually what will happen in some cases. They'll get a new production method, and that'll cause things to jump up. I've had that happen before myself. Our standard of living is over 20 now with modifications. It is with some modifiers way up to 2 points. But we never said it had to be base standard of living, just 25 standard of living. Though I will try to get it as high as possible in the time that we have. Ooh, Home Affairs 4, finally. Oh, hey, as long as you have fun in what you're doing, I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, everyone needs to make money so you can, you know, survive. But the more important thing really is to just have fun with what you're doing. Have whatever that is that you're doing. Because, like, I do the videos on things like Frostpunk and Victoria 3 because I have a lot of fun with them. It's also why I haven't really gone back to Europa Universalis 5 yet. I think it will be a very fun game again. I'm just kind of waiting at this point. It's kind of in a holding pattern for me. I like some of the changes they've made in it. I'm iffy on some others, so it is kind of just a wait and see for me. I'm trying to see what we need here. There are no trade centers right here. Oh, there's 100. Oh, it's this one. I was gonna say, one of these doesn't have any trade centers. Which one is it? Aside from streaming, I do Let's Plays. It's mostly been Victoria 3 and Frostpunk 2. I did some EU5 streams, and I actually had an Alters Let's Play going from Living Bit Studios when I had access before the game came out. I never ended up finishing that because my entire video never got voice recorded, so it was just 3 hours of no audio, like no audio at all. And I kind of got stuck in that loop of, well, I don't want to do it again. Oh, but I need to do it. And then it just never got finished. And now they've released a DLC for it, and the game's been so updated that I'm better off starting a new game on it instead of trying to continue the old one. I would actually like to do Let's Plays and streams of other kinds of games, though. Ideally, fun games. I know Ace Combat 8 is coming out at the very beginning of October. Unless you have early access, then it's the end of September, but officially it's early October. What else do I need for this? I need colonial affairs and mechanized farming. Okay. Right, let's just do that really quickly then. That'll make the industrialists happy anyway and make production research faster, which would have been great a while ago when I was researching the steam turbine, but we're not going to talk about that. Oh, is the newest EU5 update better? Because I know some of the change... Oh, hello, Rebellion. I know some of the changes they've made to it are pretty good. I also know they keep tweaking trade over and over again, so I really couldn't say how that works anymore in EU5 because it keeps changing. And so at this point, I'm just, like, waiting on that. Because I know if you start the game up, last I checked, as, like, the Byzantiums, it says you have, like, a 200 trade deficit, which is not accurate to what it actually is. But it's like, what do you mean I'm losing 200 ducats at the start of the game? That's not how it's supposed to go. Oh, possibly Annie, whatever that might be. I might have to raise tax. Well, I don't need to raise taxes. We're like, what, 80 million in credit at a 500k? We are building a lot of supply ships, actually. Which I was gonna can, but then I kind of thought about it. And it's allowing them to make a lot of steamers, and some of those are then sold. But more importantly, it is kind of the bulk of our hardwood demand. Which means by continually, endlessly building supply ships to degrees of where I really don't need more, I am propping up the logging camps. In other words, we're engaged in economic manipulation. Hello, my rebel. Hello, my revolt. Hello, my ragtime gal. The only social I could think of is probably the Twitter social. Technically, I have a Discord, but I don't actively share that out. It's just, you know, if we're in the same server, we are, kind of thing. And then obviously there's YouTube, but you already knew that. You're right here, right now. Speaking of Twitter, that's been more of just a share what I like kind of thing. Because I have been playing the gacha game Arknight's Enfield in my free time. I've been very much enjoying its story. Especially the newest one, which is probably topped the rest of it to date. Tuva backs down to Russia. I see. Even when they're not ruled by the communists, Tuva still falls to Russia. Well, it was going to happen no matter what. State-sponsored colonies. I know we need to do that to finish this journal entry. We're not helping the Ainu in this case. What do I want? A simulation for 20 years would be good. Speaking of a simulation, actually, let's just promote national values while we're at it and use that to our advantage. Well, Hokkaido has over 5 million people now. It just keeps on growing. In fact, I think... yeah, all of our pops are just actively migrating to it. Which is not a bad thing because it does have areas that need to be developed still, but also, like, it's got a lot of people sitting here now. An awful lot. But yeah, any socials I do have should generally be, well, aside from the Discord one, obviously, should be generally interconnected with each other. Like, if you find one, there's usually a link to another. How much are we spending on subventions now? Or, yeah, subventions. I love it. It's mostly subventions for meat. How much meat are we importing? Almost as much wheat grain as we're importing. Our grain imports fell down by a lot, thanks to... well, increased domestic production, really. Tarakoya private schools. What schools do we currently have? Religious schools? Wait, isn't that the, yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the one that disables the education institution? They want us to have that one? Oh, because you can't do the other ones under state religion. Right. Okay, I see why they're picking that. No. What is this? Oh, the Night at the Opera event. I was wondering what this was. Sure, you know, we have money to splurge. Why not? What could go wrong with excessive amounts of spending? That is a lot of art academies that did not previously exist. I assume that has to do with our increased demand of art. But yeah, Shikoku has a lot of fine art now. It's 8% of their GDP. Oh, I thought we were just going to hate on them because they were basically Britain. If we need to hate on them for groceries, that works too. But that's not what I was expecting us to hate on them for. 450 million GDP. The Empire's GDP is 947 million now, so it is getting up there. Honestly, something we could do is we could start using a lot of our decrees to encourage specific resource types in certain subjects. Now, that's assuming they haven't already made their own decrees, in which case Korea has already done a bunch of manufacturing decrees, so I can't do anything about that. It's kind of just whatever they want to do. But our other ones, I don't think have any decrees. Really? Oh, no, you have the encourage agriculture decrees active. I'm sorry. It was being a little confusing there when I read it. I see. Okay, that's not as bad. Compared to what it would be. One skill tree only sounds fun to watch. I don't even know what the game exactly is. No. We actually don't own Korea directly, so we're not doing the... We're technically not doing the journal entry involved with Korea. We would need to annex them. But at the rate we're going, we're not going to end up annexing them. I forget what it does when you do annex them. Russia would join if we did a war against them, so we'd have to do it the old-fashioned way of getting it down. How much legitimacy do we have? 57. I can't really support that then. Oh, the poor interest groups keep dropping below 5% and then going back above 5%. So we're just getting notifications spammed now as they appear and disappear. Oh, change language of administration. That only works if they are considered like a dominion or colony. Because if you look here, so they specifically need the colonial administration governance principle to be enacted. But you can only get that with the dominion/colony types. So if we made like a chartered company, I think you could get that in the long run because I think they start with it, but they also usually have your What are you doing? You're doing the same war as last time. Okay. Baroda is kind of weak. Can we actually just conquer Baroda and give it to Satara? We could, yeah. I don't see why we couldn't. Okay, I need to figure out why that has 163 troops attached to it. Why do you have a... Did I accidentally combine two armies? I don't think I did. Why do you have so many troops? I mean, it's okay. You can be a giant invasion force, but why do you have so many troops? Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Why? Oh, no. I did accidentally combine two armies. Because I just noticed one of those armies is completely empty that we have. So I did. Okay, that makes way more sense. I was trying to figure out why I built an army of 160 units. Owning a lot of naval bases in the Pacific for real life, I don't think it matters too much because especially late game, mid to late game, your ships are generally fast enough that it doesn't matter too much. Now, the straight ownership, I would say, does matter because you can kind of do things like this where you make it to where no enemies can go through it, or you can even make it to where no one can go through it at all. And if you own certain straits like Gibraltar, both sides of it, or the Bosphorus Strait, you can completely cut people off. So I would say areas and islands that have straits, those matter a ton for the game. They're very relevant, just like real life. But if it's like in the middle of nowhere like Hawaii here, I would say it just kind of matters on the island's own value, not really for the naval base, because... I don't know if you've noticed, but naval administrations can be built in the middle of land. Like, you could build 1,000 naval bases in Sichuan, or naval administrations in Sichuan, and it just works. It just works. I don't know if it should be that way, but I guess it's fine. They have an indefinite cap anyway, so it's just kind of, ooh, Stormtrooper tech. I didn't know we could get that from this. Oh... I actually didn't know you could get Stormtrooper tech from the entrenched front. Because I usually get trench works and before I have wargaming, and I get into a fight before that's done. That's why. Alright, another subject. And you are not going to be exempt from service. Although I think your economy is weak, isn't it? Yeah, you're only at a GDBC of 3, so we'll reduce payments. Same with Satara, actually. Their GDBC isn't strong, even though their economy might be. And I do think that genuinely keeps them in a weaker state. Although they genuinely need to do like per capita taxation because most of their pops are not peasants. So they are kind of weakening themselves. Oh yeah, yes, you're on offense. Good. There we go, macroeconomics. I really wanted that one because that is a 5% increase to the market access price impact. So a lot of our mainland states are actually going to be at 100% market access price impact now. So the price in the state is going to completely match the price in market. It will not matter. And that's because they have a building that gives them an increase. Ooh. So normally I would not do an electric company. Usually the generic one isn't that interesting. Oh, we have telephones. Cool. I would usually do something else like the motor and automobile industry, but this one benefits urban centers. It gives them 10% throughput, which is kind of curious. And how much is the economy based on electricity? I don't know if it counts electricity for that. Yeah, I don't... Oh, no, it does count electricity. I guess it reached the end of the list. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It does count it. It's just... It depends on where your list ends. More partial aristocratic ownership could be a thing, too. We're at the point where more partial aristocratic ownership is not going to save them anyway. Technically, we could do it for pure opium. I guess, being our last company, we could do something. I can't get a premium tea one, though. What do our pops consume the most when it comes to questionable goods of circumstance? They actually get more coffee than tea. Oh, you're weird. I don't know you guys at all. Anyway, let's actually go to their needs here. I wanted to see intoxicants specifically. It's actually way more tobacco than it is opium. Okay. I mean, we could just do, like, generic... I can't do generic textiles. That's owned by a different building. Okay. Shipyards benefits the Navy. Tools is pretty simple. It would be just tools, but it benefits manufacturing by 5%. Which is an option. They do produce services. They also actually produce transportation as well. The only reason I was vaguely considering them is because the poor things always suffer. They can just never make enough of something in the sense that they never make enough money. But also our electricity prices are kind of high, and I kind of want to see what happens if I get that down. Also, we have 15,000 into rail. How much money am I spending on railways? Very little, actually. I'm shocked. After seeing that we're spending so much on railways, I was expecting to be horrified by the bill. I guess a lot of them are just over in Kanto. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, richer... Actually, we might go for tools. Just because of the 5% bonus to the various buildings... no, that doesn't sound right either. Electricity and railways. I think railways are already owned by someone, though. Yeah, they're already owned by one of the Yasuda. Okay, well, what about... I know I'm having to delay a lot here because I have to really figure this one out. What about potential companies? Or, sorry, attainable companies. Those are the ones that are vaguely doable. We just need to have... one's not owned by a company. I'm pretty sure half of these are owned by companies anyway. Oh, the Mitsubishi company didn't show up because Kyushu doesn't have enough shipyards. And you have washi... No! I forgot about the special paper company. Oh, no! We're just gonna pretend that doesn't exist, if you're okay with that. 3 Japanese states. Well, I don't own any states there, so that's not happening. The Montetsu... Oh, it just needs to be owned by subjects? Really? Osaka can make porcelain, premium porcelain. I think our glass... it's like every time I find something that's like, yes, this will work, I have to remember we already gave it to some corporation. Is this what it feels like to give everything away to a corporation and then realize you have nothing to do? Let's just do this one. It's different. We'll just do this one, and we'll give it Monopoly. Give it Railways when it's already owned by someone else. It's okay. We're just going to roll with it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll just revoke it later. How's the electricity bill? Look, if we have electricity, that means I have an excuse to just use it with electric sewing machines then. Oh, right. We probably want to do technologies, huh? I feel like that's the one funny thing with Japan is that there's so much company overlap that you can kind of twist yourself into a bit of a pretzel, and your companies are kind of interfering with each other if you don't pay attention. So I think what we have to revoke this 1918. So we just have to remember that 1918. That how many railways are you building in one state? Why? Why are there so many railways here? They don't need these. You're gonna make the government go bankrupt for no reason. I swear they get insane with railways every time, and for no good reason. Population's still growing steadily, but it's slowing down. Oh, they bought those up almost immediately. So much so that the electricity price increase from upgrading the textile mills did not immediately crash. Well, it crashed the textile mill, I'll tell you that much. It just didn't crash everything else. We have so much export potential, it's crazy. How much export? A lot of export. What about our subjects? Not as much. Okay. Let's do... Which one? I mean, we're probably just going to build this everywhere. But these 5 are kind of the best for it because they get the extra trade capacity. And we're using all of our trade capacity. So, might as well build on it. Companies compete with each other, just like fictional life, unlike real life. Right? What do you mean they actually compete with each other? That's unheard of. That's unreal. Jaipur, can I make you... I can make you a puppet now. Fantastic. And you actually own... Well, I mean, they're kind of split states, but they do own multiple states now, so that at least qualifies them for being a proper subject state. I love how these areas still have puppet peasants, only because they are not on commercialized agriculture. Speaking of which... Oh, you don't even have mutual funds made. You don't even know what that is. Oh, an uprising. Cool. I'm glad to see that they're slowly falling apart. Could you guys maybe end serfdom? Thank you. This is all so I can employ more of your people. Possibly against their will. Possibly. I won't confirm that it's against their will, of course. That would be foolish. Can we get you guys... No, they're not going to end slavery at all. The landowners are too powerful. Well, could you at least make schools? So, can you at least educate the slaves that you have? Thank you. It's just, could you at least educate them? So if you... Yeah, the thing is that the pops might switch over to working in the trade centers if they offer them more to work with. Now, they are threatening to kind of dismantle themselves because suddenly there is more export potential than what they're using. But as you can see, it's going up by like 100 a week in what's being used. So once this fills itself back out, it'll be fine. We are paying some tolls in the Bosphorus, really. Are we doing that on all of these? Oh, the trade center in Kanto has collapsed. I didn't realize it wasn't employing anyone. Interesting. Yeah, we're about, how much tolls are they getting in the Bosphorus? We might be feeding the Ottomans just a little bit of money. Just a little bit. Can I get a toll exemption in exchange for trade privileges? Maybe give you an embassy? A fraction of what you're getting? You really shouldn't agree to this because of the money you're losing. Yeah, because that's a lot of money. 307K a week in tolls. For the AI, not a player. The AI. Yeah, like all of our trade centers are getting hit by tolls, specifically from there, that it is actually causing some of our trade centers to go negative. And now that they have agreed, that is going to change. And now they're making money, which is good because it means they won't dismantle themselves, and it means they can afford a higher wage for their workers. Unless you're the Kanto Trade Center, in which case you just don't have anything and you die in the background. I guess we could get rid of our own tariffs too. I've just been using that as a income supplement. Oh, we're making 254K from tariffs, so I'm one to talk, I guess. You know what? We'll let the trade flow now. I'll loosen it up. Oh, goody. They've started another one against us. They don't learn. It's because they're targeting the Shandong clique to get territory back from it, but targeting the Shandong clique immediately makes it into a target against us, which obviously is probably not something they wanted, but it's what they're going to get. Okay, this time I'm not going to mess it up. We are going to take Northern Anhui. Also, Shanxi, if they allow it, because it is a very good mining state for both iron and coal. It is very good for both. I really like it as a state. Film is spreading, so I kind of want to let that spread. Antibiotics? It would improve the standard of living. We could wait a little, though, on that. A little longer. Mechanized farming. Plastics? I don't think we have enough oil. We could import the oil. Oh, you're fine, Annie. Real life comes before a stream. Right. We are basically staving off the Ottomans' collapse. I wonder how much money they were making off that, honestly. I should have tabbed over to check. It's too late now. But, yeah, they're not going to have fun now. Breaking news, Ottoman patrol officers become billionaires overnight. Use this one trick on the Bosphorus, much to the anger of the Japanese. Some of the trade centers are still not making that much productivity. In fact, once our own tariffs are gone, they will be doing a lot better. It does mean we're going to lose about 87K in tariffs, but at this point, we're trying to do these exports that I would rather lose the tariffs anyway. I don't need to care about this. I don't need to care about this. We also have a nice chunk of India under our control now. We've also surpassed 1 billion GDP collectively. I feel like that's slowing down, but that might also just be because they keep building railways. That's why. Look, I love the private investment pool usually, but sometimes it needs to be whacked on the head. This is one of those times when it just needs to be whacked on the head. We're going to have to just go into debt and take control of it again, because I don't know what they're building here. They basically just eat the whole Japanese empire, and it's basically their own mini empire now. So where is your capital state? Is it? Don't tell me it's Taiwan. It's not. It's somewhere over here. No, that's Yunnan. Yunnan, I think is my I say it. I'm definitely missing it. Are you just not showing me? There it is. I was like, where is this capital state? I cannot find it. Oh, one of you does not have... Oh, well, one of you is not meant to exist. No, I don't have a Discord server, mostly because I do not have the time to appropriately police one, especially with all the bots and scams going on these days. It's arguably safer if I don't make one than do. There's just way too many scam bots going around. I know a lot of servers have invented ways to combat them, though, so that's good. Doesn't make them any less of a menace or annoyance. Coal is at 23%, and we're importing 28,000. Exporting almost 12,000 glass. Cent must be punished. Well, if I was mean, that's what I would say. Do we want to make more porcelain and export more porcelain? We could. I just don't know if there's going to be enough demand for it. Oh, an executive retired. Wonder who took over his place. Are they all industrialists by chance? I'm actually curious. I mean, it won't tell me unless I mouse over them directly, so... Yeah, oh, you're 106K. It makes sense that the electricity company isn't making much, actually. The electricity power plants are going to kind of be a bit of a tightrope, if you will. They're not going to make a ton of money. They'll make some money, just not a ton. All right, hand over the states, and only one of you gets hurt. So then we're going to give you the states that are not Japanese. And our little Chinese subject has grown enough to be made into a puppet, so now it has to give us money. And unfortunately for them, I intend to continually make that money. Why do you have so much GDP already? Is it because of investments from us? I guess so. Oh, yeah, 166 silk plantations. That'll do it. Yeah, that'll do it. How much silk do we make at this point? We have way too much silk. Almost 40,000. We export 6,000 of it. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It might not be safe to have a Discord server. Maybe one day if we get a lot bigger. Reminds me, I technically made a promise to one early viewer that if I somehow got to 100,000 subscribers, I'd do a full Let's Play of Victoria 1. So, safe to say I don't think I'll ever reach that, so we should be fine. That's like agreeing to do a horror game at 10,000 subscribers or something, and then somehow hitting it and regretting it. Regretting that you made the promise, and now knowing you have to go through with it. Because you made it. Why are you losing money? Productivity. Oh, productivity relative to others. I guess if we wanted to raise the GDP more, we could start giving them more monopolies. That's not necessarily a good thing, but that is something we could do. And it is a trick in order to raise prices, is to, yeah, give them monopolies over other things. So what's going to happen here is this is going to rise, and the GDP is going to rise too. After a tick or two, because it has to register the change. Yep, see, it's going up much higher. Oh, something else fell, though. I guess construction stuff, that's what it was. Yep, they'll make more money. It'll actually increase demand for importing those goods, certain goods. It will actually hurt the glassworks, though, because of how expensive lead just became. There should be some lead. There is actually still lead we can utilize in Japan. It does have a lot of lead. Korea keeps getting eaten by companies. Well, I was going to say they knew what they signed up for. They didn't really. They kind of got forced into becoming our protectorate against their will. So I can't even say they knew what they were getting themselves into. They were just kind of dragged into it. And they were told that this is their life now. So how much oil is exported? The Americans are exporting a lot of oil, so let's do subventions for import. We're going to switch to houseware plastics. This is going to crash glass. But it is also going to reduce the amount of glass, of lead we need for glass. And then we're also going to make bone china. The glassworks are going to suffer. Please do not be alarmed by the giant red number at the top of the screen right now. Once there's been enough exports, it will probably balance out. I hope. Yeah, I hope. Oh, God, I hope so, because the economy will crash otherwise if it doesn't. Is that how the stock market feels? If it crashes, everyone goes with it? That's not exactly how it works, but if we had to make terrible comparisons. Spread this knowledge to the Netherlands. I guess. I don't want the 33% product throughput for 5 years, because it's just going to make this math worse than it already is. And the math is already pretty bad, let me tell you. Oh, hey, this is the trade center again. It just, You know what? I'm going to subsidize the Kanto one because it's clear it needs help. It's suffering. It's not doing very well. And all the other trade centers should be doing better since our tariffs are gone now. Also, more subventions, but I think the whole not having to pay money to the government is helping. Yeah, whaling stations do make oil. They just tend to make less than actual oil rigs. Speaking of which, I didn't build up our oil rigs at all. So we're importing oil, but even though we can make our own oil, we're not actually, you know, using it. Although a lot of that is in subjects that are kind of underdeveloped, so I don't know how well that's going to work. Compression ignition would be a good one too, unless automatic bottle blowers first, then compression ignition. You know, just to get rid of the last remaining laborers, because getting automatic bottle blowers installed with houseware plastics does actually make it to where you'll have no laborers. It's very amusing. What's happening now? Oh, just an uprising. A couple of the peasants are upset. Could you just become my subject? That'd be nice. You don't want to. You're just... Oh, you're just interested. I might just let them get annexed at that point then. I don't... Actually... I don't think we can get anything out of it, can we? We can. We can. So... Let's grab this one. Because that's another really good coal state. Speaking of coal states... we're just gonna build a few buildings here. Not a lot. Just a few. Just like 80. Zaibatsu Films. Yep, Zaibatsu Films. Let's actually go ahead and upgrade the Arts Academy to do exactly that. And Shikoku had one of the largest ones I saw at the time. Man, the art is still very expensive. I'm glad to see it is. It should be. Mass propaganda. Oh, they're getting a very big average annual wage here now. That wage has really grown. I'm glad to see it because it means their standard of living is going to be higher. But it's also really high. What about any other art academies? This one? Yeah, it makes sense that one's not as high, but the demand is still high, for lack of better words. Oh, right. Maybe actually mobilize the army and send them to the front lines so we don't lose the war. That would probably be a good step to do, wouldn't it? So we are probably going to end up feeding the U.S. More money. They have 1,000 conscript battalions. They have 964 raised. Who are they fighting? They're fighting for Nicaragua? That is not worth 1,000, my guy. They're also antagonistic to us. Oh, good. The Americans could cut off oil imports, just like real life. Why do we imitate real life that much? Also, the vast supermajority of their oil is exported, and we're importing most of the oil. That you can't make this up. You just can't make this up. Most of our oil is imported. Guess who we're importing it from? Oh, not all of them switched over to combustion engine. There we go. That should make them easier to employ. Also, tanker cars. Oh, we never got the refrigerated rail cars switched over. Or the rail logging carts switched over. We really should do all those. Because we have, aside from Kanto, we have plenty of railway transportation to be using. So that did not really give us that many employed. Some of them already got employed right away. But overall, that is going to improve their value. Okay, now that glass is not as cheap as it used to be, and porcelain is partially recovered, partially, our economy is a bit better. It is still pretty bad, though. It's still pretty bad. It's just not as bad. We're actually not subventioning glass at all. I could subvention it just a little to undermine global markets. Also a little surprised that Russia's economy has actually grown. And France has actually got over 100 million GDP. For the AI, that's good. For a player, it depends. Army of Observation, 307. Battalions. We don't have an oil company. We're actually maxed out on oil on companies. We could end up getting rid of one. Normally, I would actually do an oil company, but since most of our oil, and when I say most of our oil, I am talking like 75% of it is imported. Okay, so maybe like 60% of our oil is imported. There is not much reason for us to focus on making our own oil company, because of all the amount we're already importing from elsewhere. It just wouldn't make much sense compared to the, hey, we upgrade our electricity everywhere. They should be able to deal with the rebels fine, right? Oh, they're actually not dealing with the rebels fine. The rebels are actually winning. They need help, or else they're going to lose to the rebellion. Cannot let that happen. 1.14 billion. It's not growing as fast as I thought it would, but as we get more conquests, we might be fine. Right, as long as they give me the state. The British Radical Revolt now leads the British Empire, or at least what's left of it. Are you a minor power? You're still a great power, despite everything. Despite everything, it's still you. Our GDP is over 5 at least, and our standard of living has hit 22. I think we need a minimum wage law. We already have that through wage subsidies. But I feel like we need another one. Not that I think we'll get another one. All right, and then as usual, we will give you the state. Oh, sorry, that's take state. I was like, what do you mean Beijing? They already own Beijing. Oh, I got pulled into a diplomatic play. Okay. See, that's what I mean. Sometimes I just don't notice the diplomatic plays happening in the background. And then I get surprised when they happen. Yeah, see, Shandong did incorporate Beijing. They have so far incorporated all the states that we've given them. Which is very good to see. Now, whether they have the qualifications to man these buildings is a difference. Oh, yeah, they actually have hundreds of thousands of engineers, so they should be able to do it no problem. Excellent. That'll be a couple more million in the books for them. But it also means coal is not as expensive. I see, without even being prompted, we are exporting almost 20,000 glass now. Excellent. That is very good to see. Yeah, I guess you can guess where all the oil's going then. Pax Britannica plays in the background, right? Just ignore the fact that the British Isles is split between 3 nations. And you should be fine. If you can't ignore that, there's a problem. And you're going to suffer. And I'm sorry. Okay, so Glassworks can get automatic bottle blowers. Oh, we have conveyor belts too. I totally missed that we have conveyor belts. Or the assembly lines. This is going to demand a lot more oil. But that is okay. We could actually do electric engines. The problem is that when we switch to diesel engines, electricity falls through the floor. But we do have a lot of engine expense. Let's do it. We'll deal with whatever issues come up. In fact, we only had... Hi, doggo. We only had 2 states go over their potential for electricity. And unemployment and peasantry. We basically... wait, how much of this is in this state right here? 1.88 million. Okay, so... 1.88. So we got about 1 million more unemployed pops in Japan proper from all that automation. So instead of working labor jobs, they can go work somewhere else. Unless their job is currently dying because electricity... Oh, no, I guess we did hit the cap in more states, huh? Okay. Never mind, then. It just... I guess it just wasn't showing it to me. A lot of them actually hit it. No, I don't want to build 20 in Kanto. Maybe I do want to build 20 in Kanto. Do I want 20 in Kanto? I guess I do. I wasn't going to, but I guess. So is this like they need me to end this early? Yes, they do. Otherwise, it's not going to end for a while. Okay, grab... just grab one of the armies. We're going to land 84,000 troops on an island of whose population is 24,000. They are starving. 12% of the population is dying each year because they have no economy at all. There's literally nothing on this island. Because someone built a rice farm, but they don't have anything to supply it with, so it makes nothing. They can't even use subsistence farming to survive. They're just starving to death for no reason. How much hardwood and fabric? Really, I'm just curious of the hardwood. Yeah, thought so. Oh, goody, factory radios. If we ever get radios. Alright, Shandong, it is time to give you another state before that state decides it's had enough of me and revolts. Yep, immediately our average standard of living goes up to 22.2. Now that it's more, accurate, quote-unquote. By just not including certain pops. Ever. Oh, they're just building the rest of this coal mine at this point. Yeah, 10,000 more coal. That is pretty good. Very helpful. The reason why I want to research the compression ignition next is because that upgrades motor industries, automobiles. It upgrades the railways, which could use it. It also upgrades what else? All the mines. All the mines that you own. Which is great. Yeah, let's start making radios, and then do we have any tobacco plantations? Because then they can actually use factory radios, which just This will sound weird, but it converts radios into tobacco. You can eat the radio. You can smoke the radio, I mean. You can smoke the radio. Excellent choice of words. I will come to regret how that sounds at all. Sam didn't impose it in the end. I guess they failed at some point. But yeah, they're making a lot more tobacco now. It actually made it way more profitable. Oh, it did add 15 more per level. That would make sense. That's why it bumped it up so much. Standard living for slaves +1. Well, I hope there aren't any here. This is Japan proper. There's not meant to be any. Not that we planned for any. Oh, good. They're actually doing something useful and building like 13 coal mines in Shanxi. Oh, you only have the atmospheric engine pump? You, my friend, need knowledge sharing just immediately. I don't need to reduce your payments, though. I shouldn't need to reduce your payments. A public healthcare system. Yeah, sure, that would go great. In fact, could we get you to go migration controls, maybe? Yeah, they might agree to that. Taste the rainbow, taste the radio. Yeah, basically taste the radio. I know opening Shandong might cause them to migrate to us, but the Koreans aren't migrating. Look how they turned out. They're just standing there. Oh, hey, we can finally make them a puppet. Yay. How much money are they giving us? 67,000. Shandong, however, is giving 140,000. And growing as the economy does, because, boy, oh boy, are we just building it right up. 1.19 billion. I'm hoping to see exponential growth as this goes on. We probably want to get arcades. Actually, you know what? We do want to get at least... build these up. Why are you bugging out on that? Stop letting me build more construction sectors than I should actually be able to. That's not how this is supposed to work. 11% of total GDP, 0% is electricity. I love this. So 10% of total GDP comes from this one state, and 34% of that GDP is just services to all the company HQs that are based here, because 5 of our HQs, 5 of 6, are all in the same spot. And I'd like to note the services are very cheap, implying that they have a pretty low price. Oh yeah, the motor carriages. Do I have enough automobiles? No. Am I going to switch one over? Yeah. It's not really going to fire anyone, but it is going to get rid of laborer jobs. So in a way it fires them, but not that way. It just changes which jobs are available, while also completely destroying it because we don't have any automobiles. Which we really need more of, and I really want to build them in Japan, so we have the money. Or the employment directly, but China has literal millions of unemployed, so we're just going to build some there and be done with it. Taste the electricity in silent too, because the electric rollers for tobacco, right? Why is the tobacco from Japan so good? Well, we roll iron, electricity, and radios into it, so you really get that puff when you smoke. What are we saying? None of that makes sense at all. Do we have any decrees we can assign here? Because I think we already did the manufacturing decrees. Oh, you know what? Let's do the resource decrees right here. And, oh, there goes the mic. No doggo. They're building 91 railways here. Of course they are, because it was very rich the first time they did it. But we'll do that so the iron and coal mines here, because they both go up to almost 100 levels each. We'll get a lot more. And then 72 coal mines in Cyan, because... oh my god, we need coal. In case you haven't figured it out, we need coal. We burn a lot of coal. Who is losing to a revolt? Oh, you're just having, like, revolt after revolt, I see. Well, we knew that was probably coming at some point. Let's get the army over there, then. Which one is here? The 8th Army? That'd be you. Just have to identify which one you want to send. So what revolt is Shandong experiencing? Because I heard the revolt. Oh, it's the laborers. I might be able to use that. Well, except we're trying to open the borders a little, so I can't use that right now. We'll have to do it later. You get that zing, pretty much. Japanese tobacco, right? Nothing like the Ottoman tobacco. Oh yeah, how much are we making on tolls now? 273,000, almost more than minting. Well, it's set to low. I could raise the tolls to make more money, but that would actually harm our trade. So I'm not gonna, because trade's important to me. Can I just not... Yeah, there we go. This trade center in Kanto is fully realized again. It doesn't even need me to assist it. It just operates on its own without issue. What is the global market like, actually? Obviously, we're the biggest importer and exporter. The Americans are the second biggest, followed by the Russians for exports, though. I can kind of guess what they're exporting, but it'd be easier if we just took a look. Coal. The Russians are exporting 26,000 coal. The Americans are exporting 30,000 oil. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? Oh, wow. You have, like, no one working here. Well, I guess they went off to better jobs, so, yeah. That's just kind of how it goes. We really need dough rolls and pasteurization as well. Although this means that they would actually rather be working in the urban center than actually working in the textile mill, which is a bit. I don't know if they're going bankrupt. They probably cut a lot of spending, though. It does not look like they... Oh, well, what did they drop to in tolls? Oh, so they lost about 2/3 of the tolls and are back up to about halfway. So they're not going bankrupt because although they aren't tariffing or tolling us anymore, they're still tolling everybody else. So, yeah, that's probably something to keep in mind. Oh my god. Spain is broken apart a little. The horror. Any decisions we can do? Not really, unless we want to go get one of the canals. Oh, I have to get rid of subjecthood to abolish the Edo system. You know what? Yeah, we probably should have done that a while ago. I don't know why you didn't do it sooner. Does become an unstable government with you in power, but I just need to start the process somewhere. You know, chat, I'm thinking of, yeah. Yeah, this will go well. I'm sorry, that's a subsidy of how much? 216,000? I guess, if it stops their stall chance. What if you get both canals? True, we could. I think we have to establish interests there, though, first, so I actually need to move the Navy over. Oh no, one of the big states actually revolted this time. Why are you so unstable? Isn't this your guys? Oh, it's a liberal revolt. Okay, now it makes sense. Oh, those are ships. Where's the army? There's the army. Is Bengal still a minor power? Yes, but not for long. That still makes us a pariah. Nah. It's because we were kept doing all those other things. It doesn't give us any... Oh, I see what you're saying. If we had the two companies. That's technically true, but I'm not going to remove our companies for that. But they would make good points of control, and they would shorten a trade route or two, so... We can at least deploy one... we can probably deploy the other navy. Can I improve relations with Egypt now? Yes. Oh, the French have already bought the Suez Canal, actually. And I'm pretty certain they will not give it to us. Oh, wait, it's not a strait yet. Oh, okay, so since it's not a strait yet, they actually don't have the minus 1,000 due to it being a strait. Really? Okay, threatened naval hostilities. That kind of gets it there, but it's not worth 21 infamy. I don't want to give them a toll exemption, even though I would really like this spot. What if I just give you stuff? Actually, better yet, what if you gave me stuff? Paid for by you, of course. They have a deficit of tools. I don't think I can quite get this one. $56 is the max on that. So it drops it to what, 20? I think it's also because they don't like us, right? Being notorious and all that. Yeah. Obsolete. Oh, yeah, I guess that is like a early ironclad, isn't it? 14 points. Chat, I have an idea, and you're not gonna like it. Because it looks like this works. Yes, it does. We're going to give them 5 modern ships, 10,000 a week for 5 years, and trade privileges. Oh, is there a limit on this? Is there a cap to this? Yes. Okay, in that case, you don't get that ship. And there we go. We now own the Panama Canal. Which, Oh! I crashed the game! Oh, no! Okay, maybe we don't do that. The game does not like that, because what happened there is I tried to build the Panama Canal, but the French were already building the Panama Canal. So I clicked on the button to stop building the Panama Canal, except the game really didn't like that, and it immediately crashed to desktop. Just immediately to desktop. No questions asked. So we might not do the Panama Canal then, but at least get the Suez, which honestly, the Suez Canal is probably better for us anyway. Almost all of our trade is going through the Indian Ocean all the way into the Atlantic around Africa. If we get the Suez, it'll shorten most of our trade routes. Because we're trading with nations like Russia, and it's going to where the market capital is. So same thing with the U.S., actually. I don't know if the Panama Canal would shorten it. We'll see when the French build it, I guess. Because apparently, if you get the canal from them while they're building there through treaty and don't let them cancel and try to cancel it yourself, your game crashes. Which, yeah, I guess that's pretty spot on for performance now and then. So yeah, we're just going to have to wait for a minute as it loads back up here. I don't know why it's not focusing on the main screen. It's probably because we're still in the loading segment. I have it loading it right now. I just flipped it a little there to see if it was working. There it is. Okay, so lesson learned. Let's just move on and focus on Egypt to survey the Suez. As soon as we get an interest in the Nile Basin at all. Oh, they immediately went bankrupt. Trade Dreadnought is spreading, so someone has it. I just don't know who. The measure of a skull. Well, at least it has success chance now. In fact, now that it actually has success chance, we can go ahead and just remove you guys from power. Thank you for your time. Don't come again. Ooh, you can abdicate in 26 months. Ooh, you can abdicate in 26 months. Maybe we can get an industrialist in charge then. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, did it happen again? I swear, it's like I look away for one moment, and suddenly the East Indies is in some forgotten war and breaks free. I don't know why this keeps happening. Because we saw it earlier. Some of the diplomatic plays will pull you in, but then you have a diplomatic play like this, where it's literally someone's subject is attacking your subject, and you're not pulled into it at all. And you just immediately lose the subject. The worst part is that if you were really cheeky, you could actually do this to Britain, especially if you give them a, oh wow, the cinder really big. Especially if you give them an obligation, or make them give you an obligation, I mean. You can create a situation where they can't stop you and they just instantly lose it. It's kind of cheesing the game, honestly, and the AI does it to you. Bali just needs to be destroyed. Except they're a subject of the Netherlands. So, yeah, minor pet peeve aside. I hate how many railways they're building. You know what? After seeing 6 pages of railways, that might be the last time I ever give companies access to railways, because they just overbuild way too much. The poor base, 60K and rising in expenses. It's ridiculous. It's just throwing money away for no good reason. So yeah, that's probably the last time I give them access to that. In fact, speaking of, your railway privileges are revoked. The other one, I'll keep it now just because they've already built too many to begin with, and I don't want to let that fall back down. Unlimited railway works. Pretty much, I don't know why the private investment pool is so obsessed with, hello, you're not, hi, yeah. He's fun. Anyway, I don't know why they're so obsessed with it, but they are. Ooh, you're actually being influenced. Yeah, you actually have very little moderate chance. That's actually really cool. Very cool. Philips, you know, radical. Oh, so like basically the entire Philippines just revolted is what you're saying. Okay. Well, I choose 8th Army once again. We have all these extra armies that keep getting made whenever we invade the Taiping. Oh, their actual navy is attacking us too. That's adorable. Survey the Suez, which is going to take 18 months. Ooh, what is this? Regulate degenerate art? I don't want to because it hurts our art academies. We're obsessed with art, but it's a 15% success chance if I do, so I kind of have to. I think it's just because a lot of Republicans exist right now in our country. Yeah, you've got multiple executives who are all Republicans, and that's what's influencing it towards Republicanism. Is all these different company executives that follow on it. Well, yeah, of course your productivity's down. You own all these railways that don't make any money. That's kind of how that goes. Yeah, I am very glad that we got the trench infantry for these kinds of naval invasions. Oh. Oh, they have a revolt down here now, too. These, I swear, I look away for 1 second and somewhere else is just revolting. It just doesn't end. It's a proletariat revolt, too. And one of our armies is kind of, well, they can't get supplies, so they're kind of stuck. But that's okay, as long as the Shandong capital is kept safe, then we'll be fine. Anyway, now that we're doing the Suez Canal, I can actually bring the other navy back and naval invade as needed. I don't think we can. Can we? If we had the secret police, we could. We don't have the secret police, so we can't. And we'd have to remove the industrialists from government to actually use the exile options. Wow. So, like, we had several revolts occur, and our GDP dropped by, like, 50 million. Revolts are scary. In that sense. Oh, no way, you have one too many, but alright. Once the revolts are properly put down, it should be fine again. It will probably be fine once again. Okay, let's get you all towards appointed bureaucrats, as in appointed from the Empire, kind of appointed. Hey, we can get Bengal after all. I just have to land, which is fine. It'll give me time to clean this up. Bengal already has, what, 43 million GDP. It has access to a ton of opium that I'm pretty sure it's constantly exporting. At least trying to export. Okay, Philippines, let's get your economy back on track because you're still missing like half of it. And, you know, they included our rubber supply, which we kind of... They had some of our rubber supply, which we need, so... Shandong's back up now, too, so given a couple of months, the economy should actually recover. Oh, and they did get access to the condensing engine pump. Maybe they always had it and just didn't use it, but whatever the case is, they can use it now. 1921, we've got some 15-odd years to go. Russia's also pushing in more into Central Asia, I see. How funny. Yeah, let's just invade this part of Bengal here. Oh, yeah, we should probably get our army off that island. It is just kind of standing down there. I don't want to spend any authority on anyone. We're not doing that. How are our workforce ratios looking now? Should be around 30, right? Yeah, it's around 30. It's still going. I told you, the workforce ratio takes years to change. It will not get to 35 until we're in, like, the early 1930s at this rate. And that's with basically no migration of other cultures and religions to here. So, like, it takes time. Oh, well, this is not going to reduce the number of jobs, but it is going to improve production of the mines we own and improve their standard of living, I should say, because they'll have better jobs. Oh, the dye plantations and the sugar plantations aren't using the automated... Oops. Oh, well. Oh, well. I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, with that done, I might do dough rollers next for the grocery companies. Actually, let's grab antibiotics. That way we at least maximize our pop bonuses to standard of living. No. They just get better jobs. Nothing bad happens to them. They just get better jobs. And what's even nice is our coal demand will have dropped as well because we started using all the whatchamacallit, oil. Also, now that we have an ethno-state, we can well, first off, that sounds terrible. Well, we can end the Edo status system. The Edo status system collapses. Due to recent cultural and societal changes, the Edo system is no longer a recognized social hierarchy. So that is actually going to be very good because it means, if I can find them, a ton of our pops that are second-class citizens, 93% of them, are about to become full-class citizens. And those full-class citizens under ethno-state get a 25% increase to their wage. Oh, and Shandong. Yeah, that makes way more sense. I was like, what are you talking about? Our guys are fine. Well, yeah, our guys are fine. So I wouldn't be surprised if... Yeah, as you can see here, government wages just jumped up by almost 100K. Military wages just jumped up by almost 60K because suddenly everyone has a higher wage now. So the average wage will have also grown since all those pops have more money now. It's still not high. How much money am I not collecting? 158K. Where? Just here? Well, let's get it collected. What are we waiting on? We kind of need that money, don't we? It looks like for the government workers, they've all gone up at least one standard of living level, which did cause the economy to grow by tens of millions of GDP. But that, and we also are producing more goods like coal, sulfur, etc. But a lot of it is also the standard of living for a lot of pops went up by 1 or 2 levels, which is very helpful. Oh, they're only at 10. Is there a way to make you like me more? Probably not. I probably have to just be patient and wait. Shandong's probably fine. Yeah, yeah, look, their mines are employed again, and they're using the condensing engine pump. Look, like, this one area is 24% of their GDP. It's at 42 million. They're doing fantastic. They're a little unstable, but it's fine. Their GDPC is over 1 as a Chinese state. What? That's funny. They're funny to demand that from us. What size are you? Are you a great power? You're an unrecognized regional power. I don't think I have the wiggle room to do this. I do not. It would have been so good to make them a protectorate. But we've come this far while trying to avoid. Let's just humiliate them. Humiliating them will be good enough. Ooh, they actually have some good defense here. Oh, yeah, they actually have like a... Oh, because of the naval fortification. Yeah, that'll do it. We did that on these 2 territories already. Oh, wait, no, you're right. I'm sorry. We did do it, but then they revolted, which caused it to be revoked. You're right. I see what you're saying. I forgot it would get revoked because of the war. Standard of living has jumped all... Wow, our standard of living went up by 2 points because of that wage increase. Yes, we're spending a lot more on the government. It went over by 100K on just the government wages. But everyone's standard of living went up by several points. Even the lowest of the stratas should be buying into luxury goods now at this point if they aren't already. Is that the Netherlands or the... Well, that's a lot of countries, actually. Oh, wait, we're still waiting for the war tick. I was wondering what we were waiting on. So, okay, that naval invasion is not working out. I need the other naval invasion to start. Thanks to the fortifications they have, we're not easily winning. Which is fine, it happens. We just need to kind of beat them down until their army is wiped out then. Yeah, it's definitely because of the fortifications. How many fortifications do they have here? 3, and that's probably the advanced one, right? No, it's the basic one. The other one only has 1, though, so, yeah. That'll do. Should we use automobiles? It does give you more occupation. Where are we at on automobiles? We're at a pretty high price, but we're not at a fatal price. We'll wait till after the battle, because if I do it now, they're going to lose Oregon. That's going to hurt them. Yeah, it helps, because then most of the economy in these states is extraction-based. Oh, I see what you're saying as well. The extraction economy law. Maybe, if it will let us. They're still doing another law that we imposed on them, though. 700 million GDP, so it's grown pretty quick there. We're at 1.4 billion collectively. Half of that is just the Shogunate. Our average standard of living is 25 now, though. The erosion of the Edo class systems give rise to a civil society founded upon common nationality. Ah, they're no longer going to have mercantile. They're going to become the regular bourgeoisie. Okay. Well, isn't that fun? Do you cooperate better in the government now? You do. You actually would give us a better government now. By legitimacy. It's weird. The first time I don't want to ever do appointed bureaucrats because I'm actually trying to have the higher paying position. Even though their actual standard of living is basically practically the same. Which is very funny. Still good, though. Exporting 10,000 porcelain now. Okay, I see we did make a landing. That's good. 23. Okay, yeah, the Cinder done as well. There's no threat there. Bengal's defaulted. Oh, Bengal's defaulted. So, yeah, there you go. They're a protectorate through and through. So their economy is now part of our economy. We'll see how that fluctuates. It'll probably be unstable temporarily. But that does give us access to opium for the Han Pops. Especially the Han Pops, who are just obsessed with the darn stuff. They just can't get enough of it, you see. How is the Irvin Center doing? Still not great, but the price has kind of gotten a bit better. Kind of. Automotive industries. They're kind of building more over here. Oh, right. Automotive industries. We have compression ignition. We also have the electric hearth process. Electric arc process. Jesus. Well, considering we're switching the motor industries, the steel ones can just take over the electricity instead. They fired everyone in the steel mill immediately. Oh, no, they didn't fire everyone in the steel mill immediately. They all got hired somewhere else. That's what happened. They got hired to somewhere else for a much higher wage. Ah, so that's what happened. Well, I don't mind that. Yeah, I would vaporize the daimyo. Oh, the daimyo below 5%. Oh, but he's not an adult, so you can't. Well. Can't win them all. Oh, the trade union exists. Oh, the trade union exists. I guess the massive increase in standard of living averages has propelled them into the forefront. They are also led by a communist. Oh, vanguardist. Communist victory, inspector haunting the... Oh, yeah, that did happen, didn't it? Huh. Yeah, I might have forgotten about that bit. I might have forgotten about that bit. Oh, well. Nope, we don't want that. I love it we still have child labor. We haven't gotten rid of it at all. We've just never had anyone in power who wanted to get rid of child labor, and now it's just kind of here to stay. We're kind of stuck with it, you see. Unowned claims. We have unowned claims? I didn't even... Oh, right. The territory Russia owns over here. Oh, this is an unincorporated state. Whoops. Just fix that. The Taisho era. Ah, yes. The previous emperor died. A popular demagogue event. That's true. We did get that as well. Oh, Brazil has formed its own power plant. How many great powers are there now? 9. There are 9 great powers. And if Spain has anything to say about it, that'll be 10. But Spain got whacked over the head, so they won't get to say anything. Okay. Just build those everywhere. Hey, 62 standard of living now. And we have a healthcare system to upgrade. Excellent. Ooh, mass surveillance? Doesn't that sound fun, chat? Mass surveillance? What could go wrong there? I could possibly imagine what would go wrong there. Mass propaganda it is. Oh, yeah, we do need concrete dockyards at some point, too, don't we? Because I'm pretty sure that gives us an even better job. I guess diplomatic fleet, because I can't... If I deny it a second time, they're going to get very, very upset with me. The samurai won't like it, but... Oh, hey, the samurai are back because of the payments. Cool. Actually, yeah, everyone's standard of living went up so much, chat, because of the wage increases, and I'm guessing the upper strata went down a little. Only by 1 point. So the average standard of living went up so much that it actually weakened the industrialist strength. Oh, isn't Admiral dead? He might be dead. He is indeed dead. I guess you... Unless, what are you? Moderate. Well, I don't want moderates. Moderates don't do anything in the game. They don't do anything, so we don't like them. It's probably not... Oh, this gets 2... I haven't messed around with pre-dreadnoughts that much. I kind of forgot that they actually get 2 instead of 1. Armored cruiser. For the modifications is what I was talking about, for anyone that was wondering what I was talking about. Sweet. Oh, look, a dress goes awry. Well, that won't do. Why don't we build some of these armored cruisers and get rid of some of our old ships? I'm not saying we need to do this, but I just figured, you know, why not? And of course, we're going to get rid of the really old ships at this point. Well, when those are finished, maybe. Oh, I see the Heavenly Kingdom took over Manchuria and then got attacked by Russia, who is attempting to seize the air... attempting to seize the area they just seized. That's true. The Shogunate has kind of become a puppet of the Zaibatsu at this point. I was kind of hoping the Tokugawas would be something other than landowners later on, if it changed enough. They're not, but, you know, oh well. Oh, the bourgeoisie are ripped by a Republican now. How unexpected. So what do I need for this at this point? Just mechanized farming, and then that is it. Okay. Oh, right. Did we ever start building the Suez Canal? No, because we needed to buy it from them. We're lucky no one else took it. Now, it will take time to build, especially because there are malcontents here. But I have faith in our abilities to joining the scramble for Africa. Let's not. Let's not. Oh, God. That would not go well. State colonial claim. Pretty sure this still costs infamy, right? Yeah. So we're going to spend infamy to get a claim, and then we're going to spend more infamy to take the claim. Sounds reasonable to me. I can't see any problems with that. 300k, 315k in tolls. Oh my god, is the US having to pay all those tolls to us while also sending us oil? Yeah. Yeah. They're reliant on sending their oil to us for profit, but they also have to pay a toll for it. Oh, they don't even have the combustion engine derrick active yet. They could do so much more with it. The Shogunate could get crushed, but right now the Zaibatsu care more about just market stuff. You know, they really don't care about anything else. And the average standard of living for the upper strata is opulent. So, you know, they don't really care that much right now. Maybe they care a little, but not that much. Oh, another revolt. Get used to it because these revolts are going to keep happening. This is the one downside to having a bunch of subjects, is that they tend to eventually have revolts. Which can be a little complicated at times. Usually it's not too bad, but sometimes things do kind of explode in your face. I'm sorry, Ukraine? Oh, it broke from Austria. Okay. I was wondering, what do you mean Ukraine? They weren't there last I checked. So the Ottomans are making 364k again off tolls, and they're not even tolling us at this point. So that's just kind of insane. The Ottomans are just making a ton of cash. I don't know why, but so much of the Russian trade has reoriented itself down here. Is their market capital not Ingria anymore? Was that because of a revolt? Well, it's their capital state at least. But I'm not sure where their market capital has relocated itself to. Oh! Oh, chat. Russia took over Austria and Hungary. Are these Russian subjects or just Russian market members? Market unification. They're actual market members. A council republic with interventionism. Okay. They don't have their own Zaibatsu, but they do have a variety of companies. One of them is indeed Standard Oil, which owns all of those oil rigs we had just showed you. So in a way, they do. In a way. Road maintenance, violent suppression. That way we can actually build here. Although their standard of living should start to improve now that they actually have access to the wider world. The keyword is should. We'll see if it does. Because right now, almost every pop is starving here, including these guys. Oh man, we only have like 10 years to go in the game, but it's starting to like really slow down in part due to all the wars and everything else going on. It's like it's trying. We are also running a bit of a deficit, partially due to our subventions. We're buying a lot of oil. Then there's subsidies, welfare payments. Welfare payments are funny because... Wait, why do we have welfare payments? I see, because wages are not high enough. So now I really want to get regulatory bodies, or no, what is it? Worker protections. Because they're draining our money instead of actually paying it themselves. That's not, excuse me, that's not how this is supposed to go. Add you to the government. You're pretty strong now. And it's immediately flip-flopping. Oh, more fascists. Cool. Why are you here? Who sent you? Powerful, insurrectionary, socialist. So, any ideology socialist has ideology... Oh, that's not what matters. It's the radicals that matter, right? Which we're doing a very good job of preventing. I was trying to figure out, I was like, why is this journal entry not gone off yet? We kind of meet the requirements. Well, not exactly. What are government wages at now? They seem to be growing still. They're kind of stagnating. That's fine. Are we importing clothes or are we just making a lot elsewhere? We're just making a lot elsewhere. We don't need as much, you see. We're quite content, you could say. Okay, I don't know why, but our labor association laws have completely misplaced themselves. I'm not sure why, but they're like all over the place now. That's why I was so confused. They might get vaporized. I mean, they were previously vaporized and then they came back, so the armed forces might stay. It's kind of a wait-and-see pattern for that. Alright, no time like the present in sending more troops over to deal with stuff. So collective GDP is now 1.59 billion. That's with an ongoing revolt, 1.6. So the rate it's going, I think we'll hit our collective 2 billion GDP target. A good chunk of that is thanks to our Chinese subject, which isn't surprising. I really wish you had commercialized agriculture available. That would kind of be the best choice, best possibility here. But you don't, which is a shame. Can you at least switch to per capita and actually tax your pops? So a lot of it is thanks to player intervention, but basically the top 10 GDPs are all at 100 million GDP or more. Most of them are in our market, but, you know, Russia and the US is actually more so because of just trade with us. Bengal, we kind of forced in against our will. A rivalry against York. That is one I do not mind at all. Yeah, let the Sono Joy movement die. I've been trying to wipe that one out for so long now. It probably will never go away. Oh, Zaibatsu cooperation means they give us a 20% manufacturing tax increase. See, that sounds great, but you have to realize they basically just told their employees that more of their money is going to be taxed by the government now because they decided it. They didn't even ask the government. They just came in and said, hey, we're going to give the government more money, and we decided that that money's coming from you instead of us. Which, if you think about it, is kind of pretty on the nose. But also probably to the point to begin with anyway. Hey, if the economy keeps growing... You know, if you think about it, technically our credit bar has not really moved that much this whole game, this whole session. But our principal has grown from, like, 20 million to 220 million. passive elitists. There's no one's radical because they have everything, right? They enjoy their lives so much that they don't want to revolt against the government. I believe our average modifier to standard living is a whole modifier is 2. It looks like it says 3, so it might be +3, which would mean our base is 25.8, if so, which is still good. Oh! He's actually a historical agitator. Sorry, she is a historical agitator. I wasn't paying attention. I was just reading the humanitarian part and saw the green bar. I was like, ah, welcome. I didn't really pay attention to who they actually were. Something you need to do is pay attention to who they are. How are our soldiers doing now, standard of living wise? Oh, fantastic. They're being paid very well. Is what I think. Now, if they think they're being paid well, that's a different story. Hey, Angel, welcome. We are playing our Japan game. We've actually got less than 10 years left in the game, and we are increasingly reaching the goals that we set out for this campaign, while also kind of observing some decent behavior. I say decent behavior from the AI, and then notice Russia is still on land-based taxation, so... Look, they win some things, and they lose some things. They're having a time. Sicily's unified half of Italy, finally, so... There's that. Oh yeah, the Panama Canal exists, and trade is flowing through it. We also have access to the modern port now, and I do just want to show it off. I will probably do this every time. But the modern port does remove laborers and makes them machinists and engineers, which is going to give them like 1 to 2 points in standard of living. Oh, I forgot about the diesel trains. Wow, we've had these for a while. We could have had that years ago. Oops. No German state. Yeah, we don't quite know what went down in Germany. We just know that it never really got a unification. Also, what is Prussia doing? Oh, Prussia's just getting its teeth kicked in by everybody. Okay, well. Okay, sure. And then Austria collapsed, and now they're just kind of in the Russian sphere of influence alongside Hungary. The Ottomans... No? You're not getting the cyanide just because you have a claim to it. It's too valuable for that. We're not... No. These people are insane. Also, Britain is like cut in half. I don't know what they think they can do. Our only goal is humiliating each other. Well, it might please you to know that Russia is currently invading the Heavenly Kingdom to take parts of Manchuria. Oh, hello, Korea. What happened? Anyway, invading parts of China to seize Manchuria after China re-annexed Manchuria. Bohemia is fighting for an independence war, which I think at least is neat. Who are the Welsh subjects of? The Russians. Why do the Russians have power? I don't know. They just do. Yep, go ahead and crush it again. Until the next revolt, because it keeps happening. Man, poor India is very unstable because so much of the population is unemployed. We did not do anything good by invading it. Well, I like to think we did good by it in the sense that its economy technically is larger. It also sucks because it's a GDPC of like 2 compared to a GDPC of 7.3. I don't think we're going to lose this war over here. But just in case, I am going to mobilize a second army, which apparently is teleporting across the water. Why did the Russians have power? Second largest GDP. Actually, third largest GDP now. The Americans have surpassed them. Oh, did they get the compression? Yes, they got the combustion engine derricks, which means they just started making a ton more oil. And keep in mind, we are the main importer of oil. We import 60,000 oil. We import so much oil that if the Americans embargoed us and did everything to undercut us, we would probably suffer. Also, I probably would just pay the extra price it took to import it. Why do you think we actually have so much relative trade advantage? Anyone else trying to import oil is suffering like a 50% relative advantage reduction. And to translate that into English so you know what that means, it means that when Belgium tries to import oil, instead of paying it at the base price, the import price is increased by 14%. So they're literally paying 6 more ducats for oil. And because it's so much more expensive for them to pay for it and import it, it means we can grab more of it because they can't afford to grab it. And then the Russians should still be exporting coal, but as you can see here, they're exporting less. They had over 20,000 in exports, but that's because we were buying up all that coal. But a lot of our coal demand has been replaced. That is a lot of coffee. Anyway, a lot of our coal demand has been replaced with oil demand. Missouri? Really? You're exporting all of that coffee? Well, that sounds like to me you'd make I cannot make you a subject. You are actually a major power. Impressive. Say no more. You're not, no, because you were able to change to monarchy, so I can't do anything there. Okay. I was going to see if we couldn't make Bengal a colonial administration like the Japanese East Indies is, and we can't, so... Yeah. Oh, you actually could ban slavery. Let's try that. Orchestrate coup in our own subject state. So, the average Japanese standard of living is 29.1. If you check globally, it is 28.5 because there are some Japanese living down here. Technically, our authority could have been spent making a lot of the pops down here more Japanese. I just chose not to because reasons, I guess. Very much could have, though. Would not have been a problem at all. Fertile ground. A land reformer. Sure, why not? I don't see the problem. There's basically no Ainu left. There's basically no reason to promote national values here at this point. Your first run going past 1860. Congratulations. Glad to see you were able to get past that point. I know a lot of people struggle to get to, like, just the 1900s, either out of boredom or just performance issues. Usually it's the latter. Usually it's performance issues. That's usually what gets a lot of people. And I can understand why. If the game's not performing at all, it's really hard to stick to it. Growing dividends, minting dividend taxes, diplomatic pacts. Almost 400k from tolls. Exports are still up. Oh, you're running out of pops. Technically, we ran out of pops too. We're kind of just letting our private investment pool build at this point, and most of it is foreign investment in our subjects that we keep expanding by taking over others. So, yeah, we're kind of mean like that. Hokkaido also has 11 million pops at this point. These are what? 10 and 20 year events respectively? Kind of no matter what. That one. I don't think tech spread really gives us that much at this point. Oh, no, it still helps us. There are still some things to get tech spread from now. We were behind a while, I guess. The map option could help. A big issue that Victoria 3 has that causes so much of its performance problems is just all the pop fragmentation. The more pop group types you have, the more different groups the game has to track simultaneously, and the more time it takes to go through all of their data. It's why they have such a big problem as the game gets bigger and has more pops, more different pop cultures and religions in it, and has more different types of buildings. It's why it has more of an issue, because it's calculating through more things at once. Now, obviously, they've done efforts to improve that calculation performance, so it's not as problematic, but there are only so many things you can do at once. Oh no, they're doing that thing again where there's like 8 pages of railways. I don't know why they do it, but they do it. And boy, oh boy, do they love doing it. Well, the good news is that our workforce ratio is still going up, so there's still workers to get. In fact, I'd love to make the trade unions happy, just so we could get even more of that, but... yeah, I can't really do a lot of these laws. Anti-strike I could do, I guess, to give them a little more power. But I don't think that's going to work out either at this point. So I think we'll just let them burn in the background. Burn in their discontent to the government. Hereditary ethno-state. Oh god, that... just rolling that off the tongue sounds terrible. It's just absolutely awful. Is the Suez Canal built? It is. The Suez Canal has been built. Thankfully, one thing they did fix, it used to be an issue where Egypt still had some of the canal when you built it. I don't know if this was the same issue with Panama. It was an issue with the Suez Canal, though. But they did fix it. They made where you actually control the entire zone section of the canal now for the Suez Canal. That's why it looks like this instead of the little bump before. And now only you control it instead of having to split the reward with Egypt, even though they did absolutely nothing for it. And immediately it's another toll. I just realized, does this mean they're going to have to pay, in some cases, pay 2 tolls just to reach us? Doesn't that technically mean... Wait. Wait, the Bab el Mandab Strait has a toll booth as well now? Wait. So, they're having to pay 4 separate tolls just to trade with Japan. Which means they're paying like 40% on this. That's insane. That is terrible. Almost said horrible. But I keep making railways. I like the diesel train. Yeah, we might actually need to not tariff the Suez Canal. As I can see from the changes here, it is actually impacting the trade routes. We'll use the Suez Canal as kind of just a route instead. And of course, we'll close it to enemies for the military enemies. Japan trade. The Bab el Mandab Strait, I'd like to shut that down then, but I think everything there is a subject state of Yorkshire. So that's kind of a problem there. Yeah, it is. So I can't really shut that down, I guess, unless I make a deal with them, but they hate my guts. The extra 60k from the canal, because of what it is, would be nice. But it's better to just keep it this way and let it be a faster trade route system to make the trade routes a little cheaper. Also, because if we over-toll, what can end up happening is what we're seeing right now in Russia, where its trade begins to collapse in some of the trade centers. And then you just have an issue where the trade isn't working. I kind of want to take the other strait. We just have to fight Yorkshire for it. But to do that, I first have to actually establish an interest there so we can do anything. Oh, there's... Silly me. I turned my back and Vietnam's on fire again. It's just a thing Vietnam does. I am going to enforce Siam to join the war so their military mobilizes and I have more time to actually bring someone over for this fight before I miss it. How is this one doing? It actually has trade? Very good. Just wondering. So they'll move all the way over there. Is that a... Yes, it's a socialist revolt. We are literally fighting Vietnam right now. Bye, Angel. Have a good day. Right? Take the other strait to open it up. It's probably been there for a while, too. Oh, my God. So, that's a lot of money Yorkshire's getting because all this trade is now going through the Suez Canal because we opened it. Oh my God, they're getting so much money. I can't allow that. Just because I hate them. And they hate us. Mostly because they hate us. But also just think of the money going to us instead. Okay, we should have the interest now. So we need to claim Ethiopia, which we get us to an annex country war goal against. And then we can do... well, I can't target Yemen, unfortunately. Oh, wait, can I... No, I can't. Yorkshire, East Africa. Oh, it's Yorkshire's subject. Right. Yeah, Yorkshire should join it, so don't worry. It'll solve itself. And if it doesn't, we might bully them to make our own subject over here. But we'll see. We shall see. Do they not even want to join their... They don't even want to join their own subject? Because of ideological differences, they told their own subject to just go and die. Wow, okay. So, do we want... I wasn't planning to put a stake in Africa, but... I guess we're going to be putting a stake in Africa. Specifically, we're going to kind of do the Ethiopian region because that's near the area we're trying to take over. And also, it doesn't look terrible when we do it. Oh, yeah, no, the subject is cooked. It's going to have to back down, and chances are it will back down. I'm only here for the strait. But I'll take other stuff, too, if I can. As much as I'd love to get a billion GDP as Japan as well, we really are just kind of stuck waiting for the population of the workforce to grow. Because our population isn't really going to grow at this point. Oh, Shandong's enacting its own ethno-state too now. And the Sind are threatening us again. There's just more revolts going on. Every time I turn around, there's another revolt somewhere. It's fine, I guess, but why? I guess just start mobilizing the army at this point. Because, like, there's just several revolts going off all at once. The Indian area keeps revolting because it doesn't really have jobs for enough of its people, and that's just causing the issues. That's in part due to the fact they have debt slavery, which is not helping their case at all. So yeah, we're going to have to kind of put down this series of unfortunate events. And they did actually go to war with us. We'll have to do that later, though. I guess it's just trying to copy us, yeah. I don't think that's why this is happening, but, you know, it's a fun interpretation. And even with that, oof, the law enforcement reducing the protests, we're still having problems. Although the Japanese East Indies recently enacted a ban on slavery. So there's a bit of good news. We managed to ban slavery in some of the empire. Look, yes, some people might be paid less than others because they're not Japanese, but we're not going to make them slaves. We're in 7 different wars right now. The vast supermajority of these is just revolts. Oh, we have access to siege artillery. I really should upgrade the army then. That would really help here. Yeah, that would really help. Let's try to actually push this back so it doesn't just shove into everything. Ah, there we go. Siege artillery is going to make our pushes even stronger. Let's bring another army over here. Okay, Vietnam is held. I'd like to get them all connected. If we had the time, I would have loved to get them all connected as one giant land route, but we technically have some splits in it still, Burma and whatnot. Ethiopia's in default, so that's nice. Okay, as long as we start knocking them out here. Wait, do they have 2? Oh my god. Vietnam had a socialist uprising and a Mekong uprising at the same time. They had 2 separate revolts simultaneously. General dead. Yep. Fixed that. Man, that's just terrible. And then the Sind are pushing in, and I couldn't do anything against them because we already spent all of our stuff. It's the second time they started a war against us when we're fighting off like 3 separate revolts simultaneously. It's very scary how they keep pulling that off. Oh, this is a slave revolt. Okay, so it's a little special. Huh. Yeah, all the more reason to ban slavery. I know it's got an 80% fail chance, but yeah. We'll see if they can't do it. Japanese supremacist movement, which is currently sitting at 33% support. What can that go up to, though? 37? We'll beat them all back, and once they're all beaten back and order is restored across the empire, the economy should recover once again. It's suffering right now thanks to all the revolts kind of destroying parts of the economy. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. We're gonna have to hope that these revolts don't occur again for a long while. There's not many more text to grab. I guess flash freezing just to do more automation. And that's removed about 400,000 laborer jobs. Yeah, the slave revolt should. The problem is that the slave system they're running is debt slavery, so up to 15% of the population can become enslaved, depending on average standard of living. If your standard of living is high enough, you can avoid it, but given this is the AI, I don't expect them to avoid it. Because it's the AI. Now, if they do avoid it, great, more power to them. Doesn't mean I think they can. Oh, did this army... Why did... Something weird is going on. My armies keep combining themselves, because I'm pretty certain I'm not telling them to combine together. At least I don't think I am. And it's very strange that it keeps happening. This wouldn't be related to us conquering the area, would it? Oh, have they had a revolt too now? Kinda, yeah. Oh, a new Ethiopia has formed. Cool. Bugger off. So if we both raise tolls, the amount of traffic going through here dies immeasurably. But if we remove the tolls, it's much higher. Still need to take the other side of the strait, though, but kind of busy with a lot of fires to put out, so it's gonna be a while. Oh, that's a ship. Of course it's a ship. Burma's being invaded by none other than the Yorks. It's always the Yorks. I guess we should do some import subventions for rubber. Oh, you know what? The York colony was probably exporting some rubber, and we just murdered it in cold blood, so... Yeah. Got 90 weeks to build that. I mean, I know it's not doing good here, but that's insane. 13 weeks, that's much better. We just have to violently suppress some of the natives. Don't worry about it. Maybe worry a little. Oh, I don't want to know where all this is. Oh yeah, I guess we took over a lot of their plantation zones too, didn't we? Very good. Yeah, how much was the economy developed here, actually? Not too developed, but they have a lot of coffee. Which is good. It's actually owned by a bunch of different companies. Which I don't particularly care about, so, you know, eh. If it's there, it's there. Up there it is. I don't think... That does make more academics, actually. Never really paid attention to that. I believe we can't make the colony until we are at peace, right? Yeah. So all these revolts have to be put down before we can do anything. Let's get you to join so I can just walk over there. Because otherwise I can't even walk over to stop these revolts, and I'd like to stop them. Otherwise I have to go by sea to stop them, and that's just annoying. Okay, their economy's mostly recovered. Standard of living, not so much. We probably won't claim the strait in time before we hit our endpoint. We're going to do low tariffs on the Bab el Mandab Strait now just to deprive Yorkshire of some of the money. It hurts the trade a bit, but we're just trying to do it to deprive them of cash. Go to stop a slave revolt, and they start breaking through somewhere else. All of our armies are elsewhere, though. Alrighty. And then if we tariff what here again, it would drop it further. How much is the main Sunda Strait making now? 300k at a low level. Could make 1.22 million if we raised it up to the max. The problem was that it would absolutely slaughter trade. So that's not really something we can afford to do. Yeah, I know it'll hurt their organization, but you know what else it'll do? It'll give them 10 defense and 5 offense permanently. So by the end of it, they're still doing great. Could argue they'll be doing better soon. Well, soon-ish. Not that soon. I just need to wrap up all these wars. There we go. The Sind gave up again. For now. Yeah, I need to establish our new subjects so our economy is more aligned to what it should be. Also, the good news is that we built all these new rubber plantations, and they're going to have the better automatic irrigation production. We actually have some quote-unquote domestic rubber production from here. Looks like we already had domestic rubber production, it's just, you know, all those revolts kind of crippled it. Which really doesn't surprise me. Just kind of waiting for them to seize that rebellious town now. And watching our costs grow, but the money we get from our subjects keeps growing too, so it just kind of balances itself out. It's very amusing. How's the Art Academy doing? Their standard of living is almost averaged at 30. It's doing fantastic. For, you know, an Art Academy that's suffering minus 10% productivity from the regulated degenerate art. Can I remove that at all? What do I need to remove that? Well, no one opposes it. Literally no one opposes it. Okay. Alright then. So we're just stuck with it. Oh, right. I was going to do the automobile thing. That way they'll capture more land with each push. Yeah, let's make it a chartered company. Japanese East Africa is now a thing. The horror. The absolute horror. How much is it going to cost me? 3.2. Oh, Egypt is a subject of Yorkshire. We just targeted Egypt. I see. And Yorkshire doesn't want to join because ideological differences. Hey, that's fine by me. It means I can just overrun Egypt if I so choose. Just make him resign. And of course, we're at 29.6 now that it's mainly just mainland Japan again. God, what else do we want to take from you then? I could even sway Ethiopia to join for a return state war goal. Not that I want to. Oh, good. Egypt back down. Fantastic. So Hejaz is just ours, just like that. And that's 100k more. Wow. So we could do the 100k, but What I would rather do here, chat, is we're actually not going to toll it. Because as you can see, suddenly a massive amount of oil goes through the Suez Canal. Instead of going around Africa. It's going to make the distance shorter, which is going to make the trade more profitable. And it doesn't matter. They're going to pay a toll regardless. Oh, and the moment we're done with the revolts, I swear. So just somewhere else lights on fire. Again. Okay, this is getting ridiculous with the East Indies stuff. I swear, if this is once again Bali starting a war against the Japanese East Indies and breaking it and making us reload for the third time, that's going to be so annoying. Of course it is. They're doing the exact same thing over and over again, even though they don't believe they can win. So, you know what? I'm making sure Bali dies. I'm done. Bali must cease to exist. It's really gotten on my nerves now. And that does mean we're not doing this over here just yet. I need to deal with Bali because Bali has annoyed me for the last time. But we'll also do that. Don't worry. I'll set that up too. We may actually have to fight it now since we're technically at 2 wars. But it's like, Bali, man. They've just been really causing a problem for no reason. No, I don't think they have a pro-Japanese lobby at all. They don't. I don't like doing all those reloads, but Bali has just been such a problem from start to finish. They have somehow been the biggest problem from start to finish, funnily enough. Need you to go over here. Yeah, Bali is basically just trolling us at this point, and I'm gonna make it cease to exist now as punishment. This may mean we actually have to fight the Egyptians because they may now think that they can win, maybe because we're at war elsewhere. But that doesn't matter. We were already gonna roll over them. Nope, they still back down. Okay. All right, we'll let the trade flow for real this time now. This time the oil isn't trading as high, though, weirdly enough. But, oh no, there we go. It needed a month tick. Okay. Look, you can have the Sunda Island. Please take it and get it out of my sight. I don't think I've ever been more annoyed by an AI in quite some time. So, you know, like, hats off to them. Wow, the Heavenly Kingdom didn't lose that war? It's crazy. They should have lost that war. I'm shocked that they didn't lose it. Okay, where are the farms? Not that we have many, but we may as well upgrade the ones that we do have. That's because they're already using the better one. Those are just the ones that can't use it. We're actually running out of technology, so I guess it's just mass surveillance, modern financial instruments at this point. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't mind me. You know what? I am going to risk dropping taxes and see what it ends up becoming. Because I think we could push our standard of living past, up to or past 30 with modifiers if we do that. Given how high wages got as well. Yeah, we can at least get the government ones to go up. One more level. Or at least get near one more level, apparently. Not quite one more level. It does mean we're running a deficit, but we've been running a deficit. Honestly, our deficit would reduce if I just spent less money on the supply ships. But yeah, standard of living with modifiers is hitting 30. Without modifiers, it's probably around 27. Paint Bali as just idiotic natives. I mean, 3 times they basically declared war as a tiny nation against the entire Japanese empire. It seems to have ended about the way you would expect it to. Ah, there we go. Bengal gives us money now. All is right in the world. Is this just a single state? Because if so, I'd rather just annex it. Ooh, I would have made us a pariah with that. Oh, they're both 8.5, so I can't do anything about it. Oh well. What is our collective GDP now? It is 1.94 billion. We are so close to that 2 billion mark that we set out for. And about a billion of that is not in Japan proper. It is actually across all of those subjects. A big chunk of it is the subject in China. We were planning to invade China. It's just, it collapsing made it easier to invade. Although the Heavenly Kingdom did mostly reunify, there's still a portion of it that they couldn't quite grab. God, I wish we... One thing we probably should have done, actually, and maybe I'll do this in the future, is actually grab colonial offices just to get the infamy generation reduction against unrecognized powers. I really should use that more often. It is actually pretty decent when you're planning to do a lot of unrecognized power fights, like against China. Oh. Speaking of fights in China. There's a revolt going on. Treaty, please. You do have debt. You do have debt. Okay. Okay. Let's do that. Cordial. I don't think it would do enough, though, on its own. Well, let's try something here. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Now they're at 38. I don't think I can get a government type that you want. Because I already mostly matched that government type. Well, by interest group only. I was trying to see if I could get the Taiping... Oh, they're actually less interested now. Interesting. Wait, what is your government made up of? Radical, reformer. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Fair the intelligentsia, maybe. I was going to try to see if we could make them a subject. But our infamy is too high for them to like us. I mean, they're genial, but their desire to become a subject is not strong. We could still back this and just... Oh, the Heavenly Kingdom was going into default, huh? Interesting. Yeah, so close. If our infamy was lower, we probably could have persuaded them. Transportation infrastructure is useful, but we're trying to use the police force to stop all these revolts that keep happening. Because they just keep happening. And it's caused some of the subjects to go bankrupt now. Although I guess we don't really care about that much at this point. We make so much money. Let me see, you're trying to enact racial segregation. I can't ask you to do it because you're already doing it. Okay. I don't know, get like a health system maybe. Maybe they just need health care. There's just revolts everywhere. Oh, the Yatsuda actually lost its productivity bonus. I assume because of all the railways that aren't profitable. Yeah, because of all the railways that aren't profitable. Ay vey. You know what? You deserve that. Can't believe they did this. Can I... No, because you are technically our ally. So let's reorganize that. Yeah, there we go. Well, they are actually losing. Well, it's only defaulting right now. They actually need a proper collapse afterwards. Oh, hey, Italy was able to form finally. It's missing the Sardinia Piedmont section, but it did form. So that's pretty cool. This is kind of crossing through the territory. No, we're using the public healthcare. I mean, private would be great because the capitalists own so much, but we're using public because that's a part of the whole maximizing the standard of living thing. I mean, yes, we're technically running a deficit, but that's just because of things like subventions. We're spending a godload on buying oil. We are exporting almost 30,000 silk. That's a lot of silk. 27% of our produced silk is just getting exported and bought primarily like France and parts of Britain. That's great. I love that. Plastics won't really work. That's already maxed out. And I think these could do precision tools, actually. You know what? Yeah, let's switch over to precision tools. Because we're not really using as many of those as we could. What doesn't have power? Oh, this doesn't have power. Technically, neither of them do. Alrighty, more revolts for all the folks. Oh, I didn't notice that one revolt is in Hejaz. Alright, then. The revolts just keep on giving, I guess. They are a chunk of the costs, but if you look at things like we're spending 367,000 on welfare payments because wages are too low based on the average, which is not really helping. That is kind of problematic. It's not a big problem, but it's kind of annoying. That's why I debated on getting the trade union to be stronger to fight against that, but we never really got around to it because they can't find a way to get into power, which makes sense. We kind of closed off the way of power to them. Oh, you can abdicate. What? Oh, finally an industrialist. Yes, you're going to abdicate. There we go. We have a new Tokugawa in charge who is actually part of the industrialists. So finally, the Tokugawas have changed. That took forever. Also, can you maybe not have a communist anymore? It doesn't let you get in government. Thanks. In fact, exiled him. He's a radical now. At least they can talk. It at least gets it to where they'll talk in government. I'd like to grab worker protections because that would force the building wages up, which would stop this. We don't have a lot of time left, but we may as well try. About to pass national supremacy next. Have some political concessions because I don't have a lot of time to pass this. Nor do I have a lot of time before they get upset with me again. But the reason why we're trying to do worker protections instead of just doing the smaller bit that just reduces dangerous work conditions is because it will give us... Oh, did they just have a revolt within a revolt? No, they didn't. What they did have, though, is I can't get in anymore because of the strait control. But basically, it'll force the wages to go up because the minimum will be increased. These businesses will have to pay that wage instead of forcing the government to do welfare payments for it. That is the gist of the idea. In a roundabout way. They've immediately begun to tariff it as well. Toll it, tariff it. Whatever you want to say it. Yeah, I was worried about that because they control that part of the strait now. I have to go all the way around to do this because it's connected to the Red Sea node. Even though I'm trying to do this part right here. It's what it's connected to, so it's what we have to go to. This war might actually not end. We're probably going to be at war when this ends. Oh, hello. Yep, top 10 GDPs are all 100 million or more. The Americans are actually at 423 million. The French at 259. The Russians at 348. Now, of course, a portion of the American GDP is literally, they're just harvesting oil in Texas, and that's like 4% of the GDP right there. That's not even maxed out, and almost all of that is then exported to Japan. So there is some There is some player intervention going on, but it's not direct intervention. I'm not actively investing in the US or anything. It's just they actually built the oil rigs and then exported the oil. Azerbaijani national movement. Okay, so what you're telling me is that the Americas might be on fire soon, and I'm going to run out of oil. Only their Mexican holdings, though. Nowhere else. Hey, there we go. We've taken control again. Oh, that's a lot of money. Oh, that's a lot of money. That's, like, too much money. I actually can't say no to this. Oh, that's a lot of money. That's kind of sickening. 400k, and then another 92k from this one. 331k from this one? How much are we making from tolls? 830k and another 982. Oh my goodness. So, what is it like, though, for the trade centers? It is too much. It is too much. It does hurt trade. So, unfortunately, with deepest regrets, I do need to turn it back off a little. Oh, no, there we go. The game was bugging out. I was trying to figure out why is it making so much more? Because trade didn't grow here. We just took it back. It's because the game was bugging a bit and applying it excessively. It was making an extra application to it that it wasn't supposed to. That's what was going on. And now the orcs are trying to seize it directly. How adorable. I guess if I have to choose... Oh, the subject collapsed a bit over here. Who do you have? Like, who do you all have? You do have Egypt. I could no, I can't. I can't afford that. Argentina? I guess Bemba, it's weirdly large for its intended size. Just take some more African colonies from them, basically. Prejudice employers, do a promotion. We've only got just about a year left. So worker protections aren't really going to take effect in time. Oh my god, there's another revolt. Literally, it's just been nothing but revolts for the last decade. I feel like we're a dying empire trying to keep everything together as our overseas empire just slowly dies. I don't know why the revolts keep happening, but they keep happening, and they've actually stagnated the economy as a result. And it's actually keeping us from the 2 billion GDP target as well, because they keep revolting and it keeps splitting it up. It's also because I haven't been doing any direct investment in a while. I really should do some direct investment here. That will at least force some employment and should solve the issue in time. Maybe in time. We'll see. We've got less than a year now. Promote you. Hopefully that'll be fine. But it's like it just doesn't end. The poor economy is actually stagnant because of all of this. Which is kind of crazy to think about. That it's actually stagnant. And I have to go start on a spending spree to get it moving. 1.99 billion. It is just teasing us at this point. Like, so close yet so far. Your empire keeps revolting against you every 5 minutes. Case in point, there's another one down there. Oh, no, wait, that's just the Yorks. Sorry. My bad. Different army. Oh, does it not have a... No, it hasn't. Oh, I don't know what it's doing then. It says it's transporting an army, but I don't see it going anywhere. Probably got stuck. That's probably what happened, is it just got stuck. Oh, they pulled Egypt into the war. Cool. 1.99 billion still. It's so close yet so far. Hopefully J4 being put back together is enough. It should be enough. Especially at the next tick when their economy actually recovers. There we go. 2 billion GDP. We got that one down. Well, we actually need to maintain it by the end of this, but that's kind of RNG-ish at this point with our subjects because they keep suffering endless revolts. It just doesn't end. It's kind of sad. Oh, let me guess. They took the Suez and just tariffs. Yeah. Taxing the hell out of it again, as usual. I mean, they need money. I get it. But, you know, come on. You kind of just kill it that way. Okay, the naval invasion's working just fine. Over the border. Extradition request denied. Well, I didn't really care anyway. What is the average standard of living looking like? Oh. Yeah, if you're not in Japan, it's just way worse. It's not as good. Oh, but apparently the 19th highest standard of living is 18.8. The top 10 is 21 or higher. So that's pretty cool. We're actually in the final months of this campaign. We're actually going to see a campaign to the end. I would have liked to get an even higher standard of living, but we probably needed to get our workforce ratio growing sooner. Or make the trade union loyal. That would have worked too. More of China would have been great, but this turned out very well. I'm just frustrated by the seemingly endless number of revolts that keep happening. Because the moment we put down one, there's another revolt somewhere else that takes over half the country or more. And these revolts are just stagnating our economy. It hasn't grown in years. It's also because everyone's employed. There's nowhere to put anyone. So we might just very barely technically succeed and fail at the objective at the same time. Which is kind of sad and funny at the same time. So I'm going to try to just export stuff at the last second to keep it up enough. So we're at least at 2 billion. So yes, we're doing last second market manipulation. And apparently the cyanide, well, the cyanide is starving. That actually makes sense. And that is the final day. I just need to take a screenshot for the thumbnail, even though, look, it's on fire. It's fine. People don't need to panic. They just need to know that the GDP of the empire is over 2 billion. That's all they need. And we can have our game over screen. That actually took us 3 hours. We actually managed to do it. So I do need to continue playing real quick. We need to kind of see what objectives... I almost played as the wrong country. What objectives we actually did manage to accomplish in this playthrough. Obviously, we managed to keep the empire. We did the Tokugawa Shogunate, so those are both done. The Japanese standard of living is much higher than 75, so we've easily gotten that. We should have over half a dozen subjects that count, because Shandong, let's see, that's 2, 3. Dainama is 4 states, so that's 4. Siam technically has a lot of states, it's just suffering a revolt, so that's technically 5. Bengal makes it 6, that's Satara and Jaipur count as well, because they have 3 or more states. So that is met too, not counting our colony. So yeah, with all of that, we did finish all of our objectives. We're not going to finish the war because we have kind of reached the end of the game, and the war itself doesn't really give us a lot. We were just going to take some of their subject states. It would just color a bit more of the coast. Oh, they broke free. It was very funny to see how high our toll income got. Over 400k in tolls, 943 in diplomatic pacts with the revolts going on. It used to be 1 million at some point. Bengal is actually giving us the most... Why is Bengal giving us the most money? What is their GDP? 243 billion. Or million, not billion. So yeah, that was really good. Really fun. The USA almost got $500 million GDP, but not quite. They couldn't quite get there. They have too many peasants still. So yeah, with that said, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had a very entertaining time. I'm glad we could get all of our objectives. And I will see you next time.